Y'all vamp for a little bit while I link bomb.
Oh!
Brain.
So it's Thursday again.
Yee, it is, and yes, I know we are a little bit late to start. There was
I'm sorry, guys.
Dude, your bus being late is out of your control.
No, blame the Canadian.
It's entirely Armored's fault.
Yeah, it's always the Canadian's fault.
Be nice.
It's always his fault because we know he'll sincerely apologize no matter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, he has this thing we call remorse. I don't.
Nah, we're American. We don't have remorse.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. This American has remorse.
I am speaking for myself.
I have remorse.
I just noticed that, yes, we lost all our shit last session.
Yeah.
I suppose it's considerably lighter.
Yeah.
At least Da Vinci still has the candy.
Do you mean Keta still has the candy?
No, Da Vinci still has the candy that Keta gave him.
Oh, the one candy.
Yes.
Did he just keep that in his pocket this whole time?
Yeah.
That
it's
was
all warm,
just
it's
a powder.
melty.
Yeah, that was just a powdered candy, dude. It's not wrapped.
Yeah.
It's gonna be gross and stuck to the inside of your clothes.
Though I'm fairly certain Keta's probably lost those love cookies, because, you know, they're cookies.
Those were in a box, yes.
Oh, so we don't get that hilarious thing now?
We don't get to do that, and Keta wouldn't do that to the one person she was probably going to give one to.
I mean, she didn't know what they did.
That's true.
Only Brimstone had an idea.
We all had an idea.
No. I don't think anybody else was told about them.
Fantasy's
You're
evil
right.
enough to steal
Yes, we were all told that they were for someone special.
Were you? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I
because
mean-
she brought it up on one of the times where it's like we were just chatting around the dinner table.
Not to be that guy, but that means literally nothing that would mean literally nothing other than their special gift cookies.
Yeah,
that you're
that's
supposed
true.
to give to a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean they're magical.
I recall the implication being stated.
You know,
Even so, I don't think Fantasy could tell if those were the cookies if she tried to steal them.
I mean, internally, I just say that they're probably gone by now because they were, like, logged in seawater.
Yeah.
no, all of her packaging is watertight. She works on a dock.
I guess that's fair.
But by now, the magic should have worn off.
Only once you eat them. It's only been like 5 days, you know.
You said it was a week that they lasted for.
Did I give a time period for those?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
I was. My
D&D weeks are 10 days.
That is actually not wrong, but still.
I mean,
Yeah, no, you told me that the magic only lasts up to a week.
Okay. I meant to imply that it lasts until they go bad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So just rolled for something which will be interesting. Ketsa might still have those cookies.
Alright, okay.
Roll to see if
Anyway,
they survived.
If this was
Yes.
going, it basically was like, if this is above a 15, she still has those cookies, and I rolled an 18.
Oh no.
I still have the chaos.
Please don't eat those, Kenta. This is a bad time for that.
yeah.
It's the perfect time for that, don't you understand?
They're rations now.
There.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, should we introduce ourselves?
yes, I think we should.
They do it.
Well, starting
Uh,
from the top as always.
Alphabetically, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello! It is I, Andy. You know me. From Classic Hits as Neri. But you know me also now, this campaign, technically. Not just this session. As Keta, the tiefling bard. The tiny tiefling bard. She has survived against one kraken. Not kraken. Leviathan. That's the proper term
Well,
for it.
That one's called the Kraken.
Yeah.
Oh no, the proper umbrella term.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
Let's see if she can survive another one.
I mean, let's not.
As I said, this creature is not going to beach itself on the shore to try to eat you.
No,
Anyway.
instead we go out into the water and let it eat us.
I mean, if you want.
I believe that leads into our next person.
Mm-hmm.
Armored, that's you!
Oh. I'm sorry!
Come on, pay attention.
Get your head in the game, man!
Hello, everybody. I play Dravinche. And... yeah, he's not in a good mood right now. That's about it, I'll say.
Alrighty then. Next would be Danny.
Yes, it would. Hi, everybody. I'm Danny Boop. You know me. I'm the streamer for this chaos. And I play Morgan O'Brien, the bog standard tiefling, who it was revealed last session is a hexblade. Because
She's got a magic sword.
it's kind of hard to keep that secret when she flat out used Hexblade's curse last session. So, yeah.
Getting out some dice because potentiality.
Anyway, next player.
That
I'm
would be
Felrose.
fancy.
I am playing Felzy Zamot, the supposed team cleric.
Yes, cleric. That's what she is.
And who is super excited at this potentially uncharted island that she's found.
The only one excited for this.
Oh, I forgot. I was actually going to give you guys blank space that if one of you wanted to try to get an idea of where you were on the island, you could draw. Let me do that.
One, I guess. Because we know that we're on one side of the island.
Yeah.
What's with that purple line down there?
I don't know why that appeared. That happened when I was moving textures around, and I can't make it.
It's the purple
the-
line of line.
I'm just moving Keta back just slightly so I don't have that constant black bar on across her token.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why that stuff is on the screen. It won't go away.
It's fine, man.
Entropy.
Bless you.
That's
Thank
not
you.
a lot.
Bless you.
Bless you, tiny mouse.
I'm still dealing with the cold, but it's much better now than it was on Tuesday.
Oh, I
Although
think,
that is uncommon. One sneeze.
Yeah.
I think we still have another person to introduce.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
I was waiting for y'all to stop talking. So, yo, what's up? I'm Myth. I'm tired today, but I play Brimstone. I am Gun.
I mean, if anything, you being tired is just going to be indicative of your character.
Pretty much. Yeah, I am Gun. Somebody just left.
Who dissolved?
I
didn't snap!
It was Andy. Oh.
Yeah, she'll be back in a second.
Yeah, we'll just wait a second for her to come back.
Surprised no one commented on what I said. You guys can't hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just curious because I made a joke and no one commented on it.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Discord boofed on me.
The joke I said was, "Where'd she go?" I didn't snap.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did hear that then.
I did hear that.
I didn't get the joke.
I spilled monster all over my rolling desk. Give me a second and I'll introduce myself. Alright then. I'm Jim, or Ash. Again, I've stopped caring at this point. I am the DM for this group of Choco Fox. Let's get on with this.
Excuse you, that's my word.
No, it's not.
I didn't give you permission to use my word.
I don't need permission. I'm God.
For now.
Yeah. Anyways. So when we last left our heroes, they had recently encountered a rather unfortunate sequence of events, leading to the ship they had all decided to become part of the crew of being capsized, and them all being thrown into a lifeboat overboard rather viciously. Luckily, though, it seems they have all woken up on a beach in relatively safe condition with a bit of ration to their name and still some of their equipment in hand. But per the ending of last game, one of our players, or rather one of our characters I should say, has come to... Who was that?
That was Myth.
He dissolved! I didn't snap, Myth! There he goes. Due to the realization of one of our characters, Da Vinci, they are beginning to grasp the true terror of the situation they now find themselves in. So let's pick back up with them as they are now sitting, still licking their wounds from a particularly unrestful night.
Just snap cut. And we're gonna die.
I am so excited.
We're not gonna die. It's definitely a setback, I'll give you that.
Of course we're not going to die. There's so much to explore here.
Shouldn't we start
You
moving
don't
more
understand,
inland?
do you? We can't leave the island.
Oh, so many ships shipwrecked here. Find something to cobble together and get off. Fine.
Ow! My ribs!
I think we should start moving more inland. Isn't it dangerous? Isn't it dangerous if we stay by the ocean when it starts getting dark out?
know what?
Moving
I have
away
no
from
idea.
the water would be at least somewhat useful.
I mean, we can't even drink it. It's all salty. And you'll die.
Not necessarily.
I mean, I think it's if you boil it for a certain amount of time, then you can drink it.
You can also dig a pit in the sand and let the evaporation...
True. Very, very true.
I've been shipwrecked before.
You have?
Eh.
Is that how you got on the ship that we were just on?
No. That's how I lost one of my previous ships. Clue. Pardon me, this is going to be terrible, but actually, since one of you knows this island a little bit, I'm going to draw the shape of this island over here.
I mean, Crimson, did you ever get shipwrecked? You're on a lot of boats.
I mean, not exactly. I mean, one time when we were kind of getting to shore, there was a bit of wild magic, and it beached itself by accident. And that was a bitch to fix, but I don't know exactly how that ship wrecked. We were at our destination, just with severe setback.
I would like to ask, what is everyone doing right now?
Away from the
The Ravinci
Okay.
would. Oh, sorry, Andy.
No, it's more. I was just saying that Keta's basically moving away from like where the tide is actively kind of coming in.
By the time you guys are waking up, tide's actually not that high, and it's not going to get any higher on this island.
It's more so she doesn't get more wet.
Fair enough.
Who picked up all the stuff for Russian stuff?
Think Brimstone did?
Yeah,
What I do?
pick up the ration jar.
Yeah, the jar of bulba.
Yeah,
In the emergency supplies.
yeah.
Okay.
I know. We picked up like the emergency fire starter kit and everything.
Yeah, essentially, whenever you were going through the wreckage of the lifeboat, it had an emergency kit on it, which contained solid fuel fire starting kit and a jar of, I believe, 30 of the, as my players so expertly identified, beads of nourishment.
Yeah, so we essentially have 4 days of rations because we all have to take one.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a whole island to explore.
I guess.
Da Vinci, you can't just sit here and wait for your death.
We ain't exactly gonna survive if you're gonna sit here and cry, pretty boy. I understand that we're in a shit situation, but
Wasn't suggesting that we'd sit here.
You seem very hesitant to move inland.
When did I ever say I would want to stay here?
I'm not saying that you just said that. It's just you're seeming very hesitant to move inland.
I think he's just having to deal with bad memories.
That too.
No, I'm not hesitant. Let's at least look around to see where we can go.
Alright then.
Isn't there
put it
just
on.
a pathway between rocks?
Currently around you, the part of the beach you're on is actually sort of framed in by stones.
Mhm.
You do see that the beach itself would continue further down, like further to what would be your guys, assuming you're facing further inland to your right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the beach does continue further that way, but there's like a fence of rocks where you are right now, like a tide pool.
Mm-hmm.
Right or left?
That way,
Left.
to your right.
Okay, to the character's right, while they're facing that way. Okay.
Yes. That's why I said if you're facing inland, it's to your right. I guess on the
Okay.
map it is up. The map is orientated weirdly compared to what you guys.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I
Well-
don't think we can get past these rocks.
Then we continue on until we find
Oh, I realized
find
I
something that we can climb. I don't like going close to that spire, though.
Well, I mean, if you start climbing the rocks, what if you fall? What if you break something? We don't have anything to help.
Sorry, I need to.
I can handle myself on climbing.
Okay, but that's you. And besides, if you split us up, there's more chances that we're going to get hurt.
You're acting as if I'm suggesting one of us climbs a mountain.
You say that in the
Hey.
distance there is actually a mountain.
Well,
Like this whole
climbing a
island
mountain
is-
alone.
Basically, how this island is structured, from what you can see, is that there is a large, inactive volcano, like long inactive volcano in the center of the island, and the rest of the island kind of goes in toward.
Oh, goody. You think
Judging
you'll find
by,
some nefarious lair there?
I was gonna say, judging by that, you guys would be able to guess that you're somewhere on this side of the.
Okay. But just saying that there's those large rocks in our way. If we continue down this path, we might find a spot where we could then get a better view of what's on this island.
And we might find others that survive the attack.
And isn't it more dangerous if we stay near the water? No?
I don't
So,
see
heading this way then. Let's go.
Daisy? No, don't leave.
Then what are you suggesting we do? I'm suggesting going down the path. You're suggesting what?
Walker, go runner. I got my
Wait,
stick
when
and
you
I
guys
got my
are
gun.
saying, when you're saying path, what do you mean?
Like
Further
continuing, continuing further inland / down the beach a bit because
Okay.
my imagination is that there's a cliff of rock in front of us to operate around.
No.
There is. It's not. It's probably like what you can see right now is that directly above the characters on the map, those rocks are probably 10 feet tall, like 6 to 10 feet tall. There is a gap in them over here. But beyond them, you do see about a 15-foot that is very rough.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You kind of broke up some.
Gotta love my internet. Where'd you guys lose me?
There's about a
It's
15-foot rock wall behind the rocks.
Yeah, basically, let me get the measuring tool because it's easier to point. This rock wall you can see here, it's about 6 to 10 feet tall, but there's a gap in it right here. Beyond it, where you can see this is about 15 to 20 feet tall, but it's a very rough surface with a lot of handle.
And is it about the same situation down there?
That situation down there is kind of the same thing, but there's no like gap in the stone, and those are smooth.
Yeah,
And
so
what about
they're
just
gonna be
this?
bluff.
That's leading into a forest,
Alright.
like a thick forest. There is actually no path there.
Yeah, it's just in.
No, yeah, the general suggestion is we kind of not avoid the rock and then go further inland.
All right. So what are you guys doing?
I was just gonna poke a head behind those rocks, see what's behind there.
Okay, so you're gonna go past that small rock wall.
Poke a head here and like look around and see what's over here.
I'll go ahead and reveal
If
that.
anything. A whole lot of nothing.
There's like some washed up crates, and you see currently there's a crate that is wrapped in a net that's currently banging against that rock that's still in the water.
I'll go see if I can grab it.
You're not going to tell anyone else? Alright, so everyone else
Hey,
just
there's
sees
a
Daisy
thing
leave.
here.
We should go
Look at this.
Bowser.
Let's go see what she's up to.
Okay.
This is just
Ooh,
straight up the
okay.
Scooby-Doo gang. Oh, you're going to try to bust that open?
Why don't you
But
crack
yeah,
it on the beach first?
It is like washed up on the beach right now. It's
Oh.
just currently still being lapped at by the waves.
I think it's a bit too big for Fauzi herself to drag it.
Wait, what about that one out there? And Cat will point to the one in that. She'll point to this one.
Yeah, that's the one that's currently, like, it's wrapped up in a net and being, like, smacked against the rock by the waves.
Well, one of us, if we're gonna get that, one of us is gonna have to swim out to collect it.
Just a
Looking at what I have left here. Oh,
Okay.
I
Sorry,
don't
say
have
again?
my rope anymore. I'm just looking at what I've left in my gear. I don't have my rope.
how far out is it to the crate wrapped in rope? And
I
net.
mean,
Sorry.
you can use your measuring tool.
Well, no, I meant like deep.
Oh, you have no idea. No one
I
of you
mean,
have tested how deep the water is.
Alright.
You can see for the first, like, 5 to 10 feet off the shore, you can still see the bottom. But once it gets out to here, the water becomes too thick for you to see the sandbar.
So is the net like caught on the rock?
Yeah, it
Like
seems to
with
be.
the rope hanging off it?
It's like a fishing net. Or like a... I guess what would be more accurate to call it, it's sort of like how whenever you have something in a cargo hold, they wrap it in nets on a ship so it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's still wrapped in that net.
yeah. It's
I was just
pretty
wondering,
fine. It's pretty fine mesh net.
I was just wondering if it's a is there like rope attached to the rock? Like, did it get caught?
I'll just say you can make a general. You can make the general assumption that the only reason it's stuck on there is because it's wedged with this piece of wood on the other side. Like the net is nailed to that piece of wood, and since they both drifted to either side of that rock, it's stuck there.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
He's probably gonna
if we
take
really
you.
want that, could try to navigate over there.
I mean, we could probably try to get on that piece of wood.
First, how far till Fauzi gets like to waist deep?
Once you're
Into the
about 5-6 feet in, it's already getting up to your waist almost. Like this is a
Like here?
very steep beach.
Question.
Yep.
Can Da Vinci climb one of the rocks?
They're smooth, but you can certainly try. Like, most of the rocks sort of have a rounded top to them, but those ones are only about 6 to 10 feet high, so you could certainly more or less just jump up on one if you give me an athletics check or an acrobatics check.
Can I try to help
I
him?
shall do the one I'm better at.
I hate to be that person, but I don't
Can't just not help him.
Could help him.
Well, if it was like acrobatics, then she could probably try to at least.
Like, give him a cheerleader
Yeah.
spring.
Yeah, she's
It's a bard.
She's acrobat.
All right.
She's not athletic.
I will say with Keta helping you, you can make that with advantage. So just roll one more time. All right, there you go. She basically does the whole thing where she puts her hands together and you just put your foot on them and jump on.
Okay.
She's not that weak. At least when it comes to dex-based things.
Well, this is not a dex-based thing, being the bottom piece of a cheerleading totem pole. It's about being strong.
Yeah.
Light and
Okay.
dexterous is the top. Strong and beefy is the bottom.
Yeah, so Keta and Lee.
Taking into account,
What was that, Billy?
just taking into account, like, because it's in the water, it'd weigh less because of buoyancy. How much would that weigh, like the crate itself?
Probably more than what Mage Hand can do.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that crate is probably too heavy, and since you might
It's
be able
probably
to.
waterlogged too.
It's still
I'm just
floating,
saying,
so
like-
it's not water.
Well, yeah, in fact.
Not so much to drag it in, but to stabilize it or to stop it from
Yeah, you
moving
could
away.
you could put your mage hand on and try to keep it stable.
That's what Fez is going to try and do, is try and put a mage hand on it.
All right,
Okay.
Dravinche, you are currently moving with what would be considered difficult terrain, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Just keeping balance on the rock.
I will need another. This would just be a straight acrobatics check because you're having to keep your balance. All right, you're still fine. Yeah, this is not a good surface because it's like wet, smooth rock.
Yeah.
All right, there's a bit of a drop there because the end of that rock is still about 5 feet in the air, and then the board is still in the water.
The only thing that would make it worse is if it was covered in moss.
Luckily, this is just wet rock.
Yeah.
All right, then. Are you going to try to jump down onto the board?
10 feet.
Yeah, just checking. Okay, I don't really have anything for this, so yeah, going to
You
try
can
to.
get Davente!
Is that Bardic Inspiration?
No.
Oh.
Are you trying to inspire me?
No.
Oh.
Lee just gives you a pat on the back.
Ketch is having a very existential crisis mental moment here.
Give me another roll.
Oh,
Ooh, okay. I'm rolling to see if this board keeps your weight, and it does. You're not heavy. Yeah, so you just
especially
like
since he doesn't have all of his gear.
Well, I mean, to be fair, none of us are particularly heavy because none of us are particularly strong.
looks at Lee,
Yeah, he's the only one.
who is basically naked right now.
I think of the party though, Morrigan might actually be the heaviest because she's supposed to be curvy.
Anyway,
Ketch, she looks at Lee because he pat her shoulder, then realizes he's naked, like, oh god.
No, he's not naked. He's just very close to it.
Okay, it's like,
He's got the anime sensor of the one piece that's blocking things.
Yeah, like if you guys remember that reference image I showed you for Lee, that is what he looks like when he's on the island.
yeah.
All right, so you land on it, and luckily, due to the fact that it's tied down to this net, and the chest is actually acting as a counterbalance to your weight, if that gives you any inclination as to how heavy it is.
Okay.
And also, that board is probably a good 5 feet wide itself, so it's a big plank of wood.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I want to at least first get close enough to see if there's any labeling on the chest.
You'd have to try to climb up on the stone that they're both caught on to look over it, because that stone is actually kind of big.
Keg and barrels, fine arms. I need it.
You like keg and barrel, don't you?
They have gun.
So I'm just gonna roll an intelligence thing.
All right. That's a 9. What were you rolling for?
To try to figure that if cut the rope, that the chest would then just float to the beach or not.
I can try and guide it to the beach if it's free.
You're getting the sense that right now it might only be floating because it's currently stuck in the net. Like, and it's keeping it on the surface. Like, it's hard to say, and with that intelligence roll, you're not sure if it's too heavy to float or what.
You probably need somebody strong out there to grab it.
Okay, Draventure's gonna try to get up onto the rock.
Alright, this would be another acrobatics check. This one is with disadvantage.
Okay, so that's a 13.
Alright then. You're lucky,
Just
my
reading
d20s
through
are
my
crapply today.
just
Okay.
reading through my dominate fate ability. Can I affect other people's rolls?
Pop Dominate Fate up into the chat.
If
Because I think it's only supposed to be
if
you.
it's like Tides of Chaos, then yeah.
Dominate Fate is stronger than Tides of Chaos.
Okay.
One roll of your choice.
Yeah,
Huh?
but you gain advantage.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
unfortunately that can only benefit you.
Okay, I was just wondering if I
Right.
could
Yeah.
save
Or
any
yeah.
bad rolls.
maybe in the future, but not right now. You're still grasping how to dominate fate. Right.
I'm a dominant training.
Yes, you are.
For fuck's sake, Failsafe.
It's true though. Anyways. Alright, so you're up on the rock. And you're gonna try to look over at the chest.
Yeah.
You can say that, but I can't say section daddy. I see how it is.
God damn it.
Here's the thing, Mythosia. I didn't. You still say it, even though I said you can't say it. So I want no words of backsass from you, young man. I say as one of the youngest people in the server.
No, no.
I am the youngest person in this game.
I thought you were much older than you are.
Anyways.
Keta and I are the same age.
Alright then. You look down at that chest and give me a perception or an investigation roll.
They're the same.
Invest
So
a
a
section.
10.
You're not seeing any kind of label on it, but it is a very fancy looking.
Now that I'm seeing it directly, can I get a better idea of whether it's actually floating of its own accord or not?
It has gold gilding on the outside of the box.
Ooh.
If that gives you any inclination as to how heavy itself is.
So, very heavy.
Probably.
Can you push it off the rocks and towards us?
I can certainly tell you that whatever this is, it's probably expensive. This box is covered in gold.
Ooh,
It's not like covered in gold, it's like got accents of gold banding on it.
Yeah, gold filigree.
No, not like filigree, like actual
Oh.
bands of gold.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah, that
Like the hinges
he's
are
still
gold.
referring to it as it's got gold. It's got gold where it counts.
Yeah, that's. I'm just explaining that so you have a better sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this will float if I cut the rope.
not well. Can you push it off without cutting the rope?
It's completely wrapped in the net. Like, the net is a bag around it right now.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, can he launch it off towards us so it swings while on the rope?
I could try pushing the log that it's attached to. Try to swing it around this rock.
But wouldn't that just sink the log?
It's floating right now.
Lee's looking
So-
at this all Lee has a look on his face like he's trying to do fourth dimensional math.
I think we all are.
So is the rope coming out from back here and then around? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
holding it
rope.
from out here?
The rope is a net that is around the chest, and the ends of the net are around the rock and like nailed into the log.
Yeah, so Dravinci could have cut the rope here, but
Then the chest would
decided to
sink.
climb up instead.
Wait. Couldn't you, like, disentangle it from the rock and then, like, let it sink, and then once it's free, then we can grab the board and then pull the board in with the chest?
You're gonna have to run that by me one more time.
Oh, by the way, it's really hard to hear them because they're like 30 feet away, and you're having to listen to them over the sounds of crashing waves.
Keta casts thaumaturgy on herself.
There you go.
Yeah, just
I have-
what?
So imagine this is a very much louder Keta. So couldn't you disentangle the rope from the rock? Then once the whole thing is free, then we can grab the log and then pull the log in with the chest still attached.
Can I look down and see where the net has caught onto the rock?
It's caught on it in the sense that,
It's wrapping
There's-
around it?
yeah, like it's basically just like they were floating in horizontally, and they both hit the rock on either side.
Yeah, so it's not
Only
really-
if I pull it from around the rock.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no, that's the idea. Lee, what are you doing?
He still has that fourth dimensional math look on his face. I'm gonna roll an intelligence check for this boy. Oh, that's not good.
Lee, please, if you're gonna think, at least do it on land so you don't drown yourself.
With his natural one, he's going to try something.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Oh no.
So it's stuck on the rock.
Oh no.
Lee, what are you
What are you doing?
As Lee just takes a running dive into the water.
Lay!
Oh no. I'm glad I'm on this rock.
Blasted fool, what are you doing?
Did he sink?
I mean, he's under the water right now. You don't see him.
Keta's gonna stand on top of the box in front of her.
Can I perceive what he's doing from where I'm on?
Sure. You see he just surfaced over here at the other side of the...
Lee, what are you doing?
Well, it's stuck. Gotta get it unstuck.
Actually, you know what? Here, can Dravinci reach the ropes?
Yeah, from where you are, you're like... Not to be weird, but you're kind of having to straddle this rock because it's just like a stone spire coming out of the water.
Nothing
you're-
he's not used to.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
he's used to straddling, but
anyways, so you're kind of having to like hug this rock with your legs and spin around it to see what's happening around you.
Okay, so Vinci grabbing the rope is going to join along with this plan and pull the ropes to help guide the log wrap or go around this rock.
For another thing Lee rolled, he just rolled a 19 on a strength check, and Lee does not have an unimpressive strength score. As you just see him essentially put both hands on the bottom of this plank of wood and sort of like basically stand sideways on the wall.
Alright then.
And he basically horizontally throws it like a K-bar.
What?
I actually, since you just grabbed the ropes to do this, I actually do need you to make a dexterity throw. As it's suddenly flung out of the... Right, you're basically... Like, you could choose what you want to do. You could either jump on the log, or just let go of the rope.
I'm gonna do the fancy thing and jump onto the log.
Alright, so you're basically now sitting on a wave board that's tilting very much
What's going on?
into the water. Oh yeah, you guys have no idea what Lee just did. You just saw this log come flying out of the water and then Da Vinci jump on it.
Morrigan's going to cast Thaumaturgy on her own voice and just shout out, Da Vinci, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Well, this
Da Vinci is going to try
to pull it in.
Going to try to kind of paddle and guide the log towards the shore.
It's like, just imagine your character sitting on the log. It's hard to keep moving with it because it's snapping to the grid right now. It is actually floating towards the shore because all the waves are actually coming inland. Still.
Can Da Vinci try, as it's getting closer to the shore, try pulling up the chest?
Oh, Andy dear, you're roboting so bad.
As I was asking, can Da Vinci try to pull up the chest so that it doesn't embed itself into the sand underwater?
You can try with a strength check, but you've basically suddenly stopped.
I was going to try and help him pull that in.
No. You go like, and you realize that, nope, your arms aren't made for this.
Okay. Lee, you can swim back over here.
See Lee doing the doggy paddle. And then suddenly he's just standing up in this part of the water.
Okay, the chest is stuck right here.
Over then.
I should move.
Oh, someone's standing on me. Get off of me, tiny tiefling.
Is Failsy just straight up swimming right now?
She
Probably.
would be.
She's going to try and cut it loose.
Don't cut it.
Okay.
I mean, did you already do it? They technically can't stop you.
I was going to assume that if they got
Da Vinci would have said that the moment he sees a knife in her hands.
Okay.
Lee suddenly disappears under the water again.
Is that just a green shark?
And you just see a line of being, like, you still see him under the water. This part of the water's not that deep, but you basically just see him. He went under the chest and is currently digging his feet into the sand and pushing it up the sand cliff. Yeah, just because if you're curious, it's the sand here starts going down at about a 70-degree angle at first, and then very sharply turns to a 45-degree angle once you're about 8 feet into the water. That's why it just drops down suddenly.
Yeah.
anyone who's curious as to why it does that can make a intelligence check with advantage, because this is something your character would probably know if they've done any sea travel.
Oh, Morrigan wouldn't know because this is her first sea voyage. Or
You had to
wouldn't
Yeah.
know Crest Isles.
Oh yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
The only one who wouldn't know is Keta.
Yeah, you're the only one who really wouldn't know.
I'm still gonna roll
That was
intelligence, but without.
Yep. Alright.
Fuck! If I would have had advantage. God damn it.
16 for.
Felzy knows.
I don't know if
Felzy,
would know because
you've
she's-
done sea travel. Not willingly, but you've done sea travel.
Ah, yes, because Felzy is originally from the temple.
So everyone knows this. The islands in this world, they aren't connected to anything at the base. Like, they stay
they're just
locked in
basically-
they're giant floating islands.
Ew.
Like, at least if it's not one of the main continents, it's not connected to the base of anything.
Here, I was thinking it was just a very steep drop. I've had stuff where I swum out from an island and saw the sand literally do a 90-degree cliff dive down into the deep.
Yeah. This is the same case as that, where eventually it does get straight to a 90-degree incline down, but if you keep going down, it then suddenly becomes an
inverse.
An inverse angle, back inward. You get the sense that this is one of those types of islands where it is not attached to anything. Yet oddly enough, it doesn't move.
So, we have 2 chests now.
And he just slowly rises from the water.
Yes.
I
I just picture that Lee drags the chest onto the water, which drags the log onto the beach, and then Da Vinci just hops off
Yeah,
without a single bit, with almost no water on him.
I mean, you're like, the ankles of your pants are splattered in water, but otherwise, yeah, you're good.
Managed to do all that without taking a swim.
Swims are nice.
You alright, Da Vinci?
I'm fine.
well, let's get to reading it.
Yeah, Felzy's going to see how this thing opens. Is that locked?
Yes.
Keta wants to go after the other box.
That one's just nailed shut. If anyone has something they could wedge it open with, they could try.
I can pull out one of my daggers.
Yeah, Keta will pull out her other dagger and start working.
Alright.
On the other end.
Just the 2 of them going at it.
Go ahead and make a strength check.
Should it be one of them making a strength check with advantage? Because it's basically...
No, because
us-
neither of you are strong.
Nah. Hope the same thing.
You start to get it open.
Let's see.
Meanwhile, what's everyone else doing?
I don't think anyone's got lock picking skills, or a lock pick. And is it like a padlock that's holding it?
No,
locking
like,
it
the
shut?
lock is actually part of the chest. Like, it's integrated. The lock is actually part of the golden banding that is holding the chest together.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what I can use to open this if there's no key and it's still locked. I could acid open it.
You can try.
Before the whole box is ruined, does this look like any type of box design Mom would keep? Or anything like of the important sort?
I mean, just looking at it, the fact that it's being, like, one, it is made of the actual, like, it is straight up made of, like, hard red ironwood, like the wood of the chest, so, one, it's a super dense hardwood.
Mm-hmm.
and it's banded together with gold. So obviously it's important whatever it is.
I recommend that you kind of get it at least a bit more away from everyone else. It looks very important. It's made out of ironwood.
The box, or just get everyone away from the box before we open?
The box itself.
Okay.
The wood.
Lee, if you would, could you drag this further out of the water?
It's really heavy.
You can do it!
Says as he grabs one side of the box and just starts dragging it with a great amount of effort.
I'm gonna give him inspiration.
This isn't something he needs to make a check for. He is actually...
Okay.
I'll make it
Alright,
up to you later.
I had to move Felzy to have him grab the box.
I still have candies left.
There you go. Alright, that's about as far as he's willing to drag it right now.
So
And
while
so-
he's dragging,
over
do we
here.
get the box up?
Yeah,
we're
I'll
working
say
on
you do.
open.
Yeah. Keta gets Brimstone over here, who's at least got a bit more arm to him.
Alright. So you guys managed to pry that box open. And it actually does have some supplies in it.
Ooh!
Oh, thank goodness.
Not rations, sadly, but it has, like, tarps, ropes, stakes. It looks like this is, basically has canvas, rope, and other things like that. What would be repairs, like repair and replace supplies for a ship, but could be used to make tents and the such should you need to.
Okay, we can use these to make some form of shelter.
Yeah, that's good!
Excellent.
Let's
Okay.
get it a bit more out of the water, Devinte.
Yeah.
You do dig to the bottom of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. And it does have a couple of bottles in it as well.
Ooh, what are these?
Some bottles
Yes.
of...
Are they red?
They are not healing potions. It appears that they are bottles of alcohol. But the labels
this
on them
is
are kind of
great.
smudged.
Can Da Vinci investigate the bottles?
Yes. Because I knew you would ask.
I want to help.
Alright, so technically you can either do advantage or you both can do the roll.
Yeah. You roll. Advantage.
Alright, it's not really too hard to discern what's on this bottle. Like, it's smudged, but it's still recognizable.
What is it?
Oop, sorry, accidentally rolled the dice. Actually, I guess I should roll the dice to see what this actually is. Let me pull up my alcohols of this world.
Devinte and
I hope
Keta.
it...
They find camping supplies and booze. The real important stuff.
You find
I
one
hope
bottle of salamander whiskey, which, for a real-world equivalent, this is basically Fireball.
Mm-hmm.
So, spicy cinnamon liquor. And the other one is... Ooh. Something Keto would actually recognize.
Ooh!
It is labeled as the... Crap. I hate pronouncing things. It is labeled as a bottle of Granum, which is a vintage wine that you would remember from the churches of your child.
Sacramental wine.
Devinte! Devinte!
Yes?
This is vintage!
I mean, the particular bottle you're seeing right now is a relatively new bottle. It's just you remember
still.
that this is a wine that is favored by Granum himself.
Oh, we got some good stuff here.
Oh, this is a good sign.
Definitely taking those bottles.
I mean, I imagine you're dragging that whole crate. With the two of you, plus maybe either Brimstone or Mordegun, you can all drag that further inland. It's not as heavy as this other chest. Speaking of which, though, we're going to flip back over.
Yeah.
So what is Failsy doing to try to open this box?
Failsy's going to try and prestidigitation a lockpick.
Perfectly doable. Fits in the palm of your hand, non-magical. You can make a lock.
I'm just wondering
People
what
always
rolls
forget
it to try and
prestidigitation is an
lockpick.
incredibly useful spell. Are you proficient in Thieves' Tools?
No.
Alright, so this would
Hang on,
just
I'll
be a
double check.
dexterity check.
Okay. Yeah,
But
proficiency
having
and
the
no tool.
Yes.
So
Just having
it's
the
a dex
tools
check.
allows you to make the check, but it's just a dexterity check.
I'm going to zoom in a bit more.
Yeah, sorry about this map being so big. I had multiple maps on this one screen.
It's
It's not that, it's I just need to zoom in. So I need to hit the dexterity button.
It's just in your character sheet, isn't it? Oh, well,
Nat 20!
Click!
Nice.
It would've- it- takes just about that, because this had a high DC lock. You are even with your nat 20, because I hate to be this person, but a nat 20 does not guarantee success on a skill check. It's just the highest possible
Oh.
roll you can get.
Hmm.
It only guarantees a hit. But, I will say, with the nat 20, it probably takes you 5-10 minutes of fiddling with this lock. In such time, you see in the background these three skinny-armed people slowly but surely dragging this crate inland. But you don't let it distract you, as you just keep working away. And eventually you finally hear the as the top of the lock separates from the bottom of the lock. And then you hear like inside the mechanism of the lock as a bunch of gears start turning within it. And like the
Ooh,
actual
fancy.
the actual chest where the gold banding is on the front of it, it had like these interlocking patterns that almost looked like moons. You see them actually curl and release outwards. And it actually takes it from making it look like a moon, then it brings it has 4 crescent moons on the front of it that are sort of like sectioned off to be decorative. Then as it unlocks, those crescent moons basically come around to make almost what you would think of as a new moon type design, where it's the empty circle. And the chest opens, like cracks open.
I feel this
also
would have had a very fancy key.
Yes, it did. Honestly, did not expect you guys to open this. Let me see from my fancy loot table.
Loot.
Keta's just very excited she has wine.
Yes. The wine of your childhood. Because drinking is legal from a very early age in this world.
What is the drinking age in this world again?
For
Write this down here.
the drinking age in this world is there isn't one.
Oh, so
The implication is that hard liquors can only be served to adults, but there are a lot of just plain drinking alcohols, which are like 1% alcohols.
Oh, so
that
basically it's
anyone
up
can
to
drink.
it's up to parents' discretion at that point. Then, gotcha.
It's basically don't give babies hard liquor,
Totally
and otherwise anyone can drink this.
It saves on water.
It's
I'm just going to assume it's because there's so many races. It's like you can't set an age.
No,
Like
it's
a
actually
legal
just
age?
because in a world where basically everything is seawater or like swamp water, you have to disinfect it, and one of the best ways to do that is alcohol. Because
Yeah.
it kills everything, and it can be easily boiled into things.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so... Ooh, pretty good. Some pretty good rolls. Let me make sure that I have this table. In
I'm
this
just gonna
chest,
run down
on
my loot chest.
on one side of the chest, there is sort of a velvet-lined container, which you now that you're moving it around some. Which, by the way, the inside of this chest, completely dry. On one side, there's a velvet-lined container which has 6 red vials in it. On the other side of the container, there is another small box.
Yep. I'm just writing this down.
Yep. Based on the look and size of the red vials, you would assume that they are healing potions. Just basic ones.
Still, that's very nice to have.
Possibly healing.
You would know
Standard,
they're healing
I guess.
potions. Yeah, standard
Okay,
healing
so
potions.
standard healing potion?
You would know they're standard healing potions because they're that, like, traditional, like, dull red, but still slightly glowing color.
Hey, probably the
what
same
is
color as Kata's candies.
What
Yep,
is the
same color as
healing?
candies.
What does the healing die for a standard healing potion?
2d4 plus 2.
2d4. Just writing that down so I don't have to ask again.
Fair enough.
Yep.
And I'm looking for... Because I'm having to use a random loot gen table for this, because I actually was not expecting this to be open, because you don't usually expect a DC 20 lock to be opened this early in the game.
If I didn't pop it open, I was going to melt it open.
Fair enough. You could try, but it would not have gone well for you.
Probably has magical words on it.
You would just destroy the stuff inside of it while trying to do that.
Hmm.
I could have poured the acid into the lock. I don't know.
It's just this thing where if you were to force the lock open like that, it would have caused issues.
Well, luckily I tried prestidigitation first.
Yes.
And I was thinking, I really need to learn how to do this properly.
I just realized you can create seasonings with prestidigitation.
Technically.
Yeah, you can flavor food with that. You can also reheat food. It's a magical microwave!
And a fridge, because you could make it cold too.
Yee! You can keep your ice cream from melting.
For an hour.
And then another hour, because you can just recast it because it's a cantrip.
Yeah, but an hour's more than enough time to enjoy a nice cold ice cream cone, especially in the summer heat.
Yes. Alright, so when you open the other box that's in there, it has two small stones with a rune engraved in each one. It appears that they are the same rune on both stones.
2 small stones with runes. Can I investigate or
This would be an Arcana check.
Arcana?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll say
What
with
have we
advantage
got?
because you are recently studying enchantment.
I'm
What
Picturing-
nice.
I'm picturing these stones just having a little mouth on them, and then when you throw them down, they say hello.
We're not playing Dark Souls. Alright. Alright, 22. You recognize the rune on their surface as the rune of voice, which tells you that these are sending stones.
Oh! I found walkie-talkies.
What?
Yeah, like, what's a walkie-talkie?
Oh, I've basically found the equivalent of a walkie in this.
Yeah, but it only works once a day, unfortunately.
What'd they do?
Basically,
just-
I could send a.
Sorry.
Basically, I can send a message between these stones, no matter the distance, or a couple miles. From memory,
You're right, no matter the distance.
no matter the
Oh,
distance.
man.
So I could hand one to you guys, and in case of emergency, call help.
Well,
These will be handy.
I guess that means I will be able to keep in touch if we have to split up.
I will say, for the sake of this world, Sending Stones have 2 charges a day because both stone has the ability to cast thing once.
Okay.
So basically, you
It's
get
just
2.
a single message?
Yeah,
You can
you get
respond
2
to
use.
it.
Yeah, you get 2 uses of the sending spell. It's basically one person can use it, the other person gets to respond back, but then the person who sent that original message cannot use it again until the next dawn. But
Yeah,
the
that's how
other
sending stones
stone can still do that.
Yeah,
Again.
some stones work like that.
Alright. Well, I mean,
Well, Bog standard rule says that they literally only work once a day between the pair, but I'm trying to be nice and make usually useless items more useful.
that's good at
So
least. we
2
have
sending
that.
stones, 1 charge of sending each.
Did you find anything else?
I mean, she can't hide the other thing, unfortunately. Hate to be that
Okay.
person, but you can't hide it.
These potions.
Oh! House potions.
Yes, I found some potions in here, and we have some sending stone. And digs in the crates some more, and I don't think anything else.
There's also just like pouches of like spell components in there, but unfortunately there's no spell book. It looks like this was a wizard chest of some.
At least that.
Would that be
You
the
got
equivalency of like
That's
a components pouch?
Yes.
Fails will
Well-
grab that just in case.
That makes 8. Wait, no. Yeah. Wait, no. Yeah, 8 kind of healing potions. A whole bunch of camping stuff, and 2 bottles of alcohol.
If a Lee out of character moment, I shall say.
Time to get crunk.
Oh
But no.
my goodness.
I think our next
so,
step should be finding a camping spot, shouldn't it?
yes,
Most
let's
likely.
move that crate. Let's take that crate with us and let's try to find some place to set up that isn't this beach.
Yeah.
You turn around and Lee currently has that crate on his shoulder.
Don't,
Perfect.
Don't overexert yourself. Remember, you got hurt recently.
Can always rely on you, big guy.
Gotta
He has a
flex.
name.
Gotta flex the pain out.
That's not how.
I think
You've
that's
obviously
just-
never met an orc.
I think this is just a Lee thing, dear.
Keta has a look on her face like that. That's not how.
You all would basically know that that's generally an orc thing, is that if they are hurt, the only way they feel better is by physically exerting themselves.
Would Keta though? Would she?
Orcs are not uncommon where you come from, so no. I mean, yes, you would know. You know that they're very stubborn about not stopping working because they get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, you
So
would have
if
seen
Belsey's
one
thing-
in a logging accident have a giant gash put in his arm, and then basically bandage up that arm and continue working. And when I say gash, I mean like to the bone on one of.
Well, at least he's not working himself really to the bone. That would be gross.
And I guess that crate. The other crate will just have to leave on the beach.
I mean, we have what's in it.
It's worthless otherwise.
It's dead weight.
Yeah.
Do we want to divvy up those potions, one for each of us?
Yeah, Belzy will hand out a potion to each person for them to hold in their packs.
Lee just looks down at himself.
Yeah, Belzy will carry Lee's potion. Because I don't think
Just
Lee
like-
has pockets.
I don't have anywhere to hold that.
I mean, you would, but I shouldn't really say that one.
What?
I mean, could make
I
him
actually
a
did
bit
not hear
more
what you
generous
said.
than before.
Kenta made the comment as bit. You do have a place to hold it. I just really shouldn't say it.
I could make him look a bit more generous than before.
He looks confused at all of you.
I mean, Brimstone's not looking like he understands it either. Just, I don't know.
Never mind.
Don't worry about it.
I guess we should start walking towards the forest.
My loincloth doesn't have an under.
I'll explain it later.
Lee is confused. But continues.
Okay, let's move on.
Alright.
Into the forest. Into
Alright.
the forest. Here we go.
Into the woods we go today. Hopefully not. Alright, so you all head into the forest, and this is where we're moving into the Theater of the Mind portion of this.
Alright.
As I now have to switch over the background ambience to forest ambience. Sorry.
It's all good.
That one's really loud for some reason. I don't know why.
I just ended up turning down my own Google Chrome.
Alright, there we go. So, as you all are heading further inland, the palm trees that were directly against the beach pretty quickly fade away into actually more of a oak forest, which is a bit odd. But I assume you guys are trying to look for a clearing or some
Yeah.
sort. Alright, so,
Kenta actually wants to try to look for any fruit on the trees.
Alright, so one person can try looking for a clearing with a survival check. Keta, you can make a survival check to look for.
Venture would be looking for a clearing, although he doesn't have very good survival.
I have proficiency in it, so if somebody could give me assistance, I could roll with advantage.
This is individual
Sure.
rolls.
Oh, okay.
Like, you guys all can roll for your respective things.
Kenta just wanted to find fruit.
15.
Lows.
Alright. Mulligan, you do actually manage to find a nice clearing, and also prevent Dravinche from walking straight to a spider web at one point.
Basically, mom arm.
Like, and it's not a small spider. We're talking like the size of a grapefruit spider.
Ugh. Thank you.
Straight up an Australian, like, wolf spider type creature.
Oof.
And it's just looking at you
She just
with
kind
all 8 of its tiny eyes.
of glares at it while basically directing Dravinche away from the spider web.
It seems disappointed, but goes back to its work.
Uh-huh. That's what I thought.
Thank you for catching that.
Not a problem.
Alright. Sorry. Were the rest of those rolls looking for fruit or looking for camp?
I was looking for fruit.
I was looking for the cat.
Yeah, mine too.
Alright, so Failsy and Motogon, you managed to find a little campsite. Then you're looking around and realize that Keta's not with you guys. Because she's the only one that went to look for fruit.
God damn it.
Where'd Kenta go?
Yeah.
It's not hard to probably find her. She stands out.
True, but they walked about 20 minutes into the forest and you started off looking for fruit. So, in your absent-mindedness, you have been separated.
I didn't think that they're all just leave me.
Giant spiders got their attention. You do smell something sweet, though.
Is it me?
I mean, yes, but... Actually, no. Currently, you smell like salt and sweat.
Yeah.
Yes. Alright. Alright,
You-
so I'm gonna
Compared to
try
what you're
follow
used to,
my-
currently you smell off.
Yeah. I'm just gonna try to follow her nose.
Alright. You follow your nose, just sniffing along as if you were a cartoon character with the visual aroma leading you. And eventually you start to hear bickering in the distance. Or rather, you hear one voice bickering and then the other voice going, "Huh." Just,
Can I try to go stealth?
Yeah, you can try to go stealth, as you just hear. Alright. Or, that's not the right voice. Oh, my brain break.
Keta is the knight.
Keta has become one with the night.
I am a tree.
Alright,
How do you miss a bright pink tiefling?
Also
she
why
found,
everyone...
She found a big ass pink flower to hide next to. That's how.
You just look, it's like one of those things where it's like a horror movie and they're like panning past it and the monster just perfectly blends in with the surroundings just enough that when you take a cursory glance past, it's not there.
Oh my god, I love her so much.
Anyways, just... Oh, alright, Flair, just listen again. This is a good berry. It'll keep you good. Don't die. Pete's sake. You should learn to trust me at this point. As you basically walk up and see Cassandra and Flair. With Cassandra currently like... Oh. Do you just actually just make that sound?
She calls out because she recognizes them.
Well, alright. As you make that sound, you like before that you saw that she's currently like holding out a branch of what looks like really swollen holly berries.
Mhm.
And like it's talking to Flair and he just looks like he's heard this speech 100 times. And Cassandra just like turns her head and looks at you. Oh, that's a surprise. You didn't die. Good on you.
You didn't die either. Well, this is so good.
I'm pretty hard to kill.
We got Lee, we got Revenge Day, Brimstone, Salesy, and Watergun. I don't know where they went. They kind of left me alone.
Well, shit, your whole group practically survived.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I said practically. It actually sounds like your whole group survived. She is supposed to have like a Cockney accent, and for some reason, I just can't do it right now.
Yeah.
All right. So you got separated. She gives a little bit of a chuckle at that.
Yeah, I went to go look for fruit.
In a forest of oak trees.
I mean, doesn't hurt to try.
Like up the shoulder, just. I commend your optimism.
We found booze.
You have my attention. Let's go find your friends.
And I assume they still look generally the same, like maybe a bit back or Flair.
Flair looks unchanged. Cassandra looks like she was put through the ringer, but is pretending not to be hurt.
I'm gonna reach over into it. Like, does she have any open wounds or anything?
No, it just looks like she's covered in bruises, but doesn't seem bothered by it.
So somewhat similar to Lee when we first found him. All right, so get the little kind of
yeah. And the weird thing is, Flair looks unchanged. He looks exactly like you saw him on the boat.
You didn't get wet or anything, Mr. Flare?
He just does a little twirl with his fingers and sparkles come out of them.
You didn't even look like you got hit.
He just shrugs.
So-
Oh, he's pretty good at avoiding things, she says with like a glare at him.
I'm good at that too. That's because I'm small.
Fair. Ah, my dice! They exploded!
Ketcha will lead them back to the path where she kind of lost the party.
Yeah, you do that, and it's at some, like, probably about halfway back to you leading them back to it. Cassandra kind of, like, steps ahead of you and then starts leading you as she's tracking your friends. Not a hard thing to do, considering they're the only ones that would leave footprints on the island.
Ketcha will look up at Flare and go, does she do that often?
Yeah.
Alright. I imagine at this point this is also one like the fuck, where is she?
Yeah, pretty much. Just like the sudden realization of, where's Keta?
I thought she was with you.
Where'd she go?
Alright, we just have to stay calm, and we'll be able to find her. We should be able to easily enough find our way back here once we find her.
Brimstone's already turned around and headed into the forest.
Hi guys!
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been a little while longer than that, but
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
pretty much as they start looking, you just sort of materialize with Flare and Cassandra.
Huh.
Hey, look, more people.
There you are, dear.
Yeah, you guys left me. I went to go find fruit, and then I came in and you guys were gone.
Well, we were looking for... Never mind.
Cassandra's sort of looking at your group. Huh.
We at least found a place to set up some camp with the supplies we found.
And I found friends!
Yeah, that
Let's go looking
same...
for fruit.
Yes, I was looking for fruit.
Oh, she kind of found fruit.
Oh,
I've been
it's-
told
I
I've
mean,
just I've been told I've been a peach to be around.
He went to find-
She says she like puts both her fingers on her face and like does a little smile.
She wanted to go find food and found more mouths to feed.
Well, I mean, Miss Cassandra was saying something about a good berry.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy spell.
Does it keep you not hungry?
That's the entire purpose of it.
Huh.
See?
Yeah, that thing, the sweet smell you had smelled earlier was actually the smell of a good berry.
At least it's good to know that you survived.
It's good to see other people survived as well. That's her voice.
Did
There
you
we go.
survive? Did you survive on a boat?
No, we actually just kind of swam.
You swam?
I'm a very good swimmer.
Do you know where we are, though?
I'm a good swimmer, not so much good on the maps and such.
We're
Didn't
on
say-
an island that no one has explored because no one can get off it.
The Kingfisher.
She just gives like a shrug. Doesn't stop me from getting off a place yet. Someone died. They're alive again.
Oh no, Keta suddenly had a heart attack.
Oh,
The
no.
diabetes struck.
Her kidneys failed. No, anyways.
Wilford, no.
No, what is the pancreas? What's affected by diabetes?
Pancreas.
Pancreas. Well, I know the pancreas is what can cause you to have diabetes if it stops working.
Well,
Is that just what processes sugar in your body?
pancreas and liver.
Okay. Oh yeah, kidneys is what processes your blood.
Yeah.
Alright.
What?
We were discussing why Keta just suddenly keeled over and died for a second. She
Sorry,
succumbed to
Discord-
diabetes.
Discord keeps on like going in and out on me. Like I can hear everybody talking, and then all of a sudden everybody goes like dead silent.
I get the feeling. Okay. Anyways. But yes. Flair and Cassandra are now back with you guys.
Did Da Vinci tell him about the Kingfisher?
Yeah, Cassandra basically just sort of shrugged and just like, well, I haven't found a place that could keep me so far.
Well, at least positive way to look at it.
I think we just need to cobble together a boat big enough to hold all of us.
Well, if this is Kingfisher Isle, well, there should be some shipwreck. I'll figure out something.
Yeah, that's where we found the booze.
She sort of like shrugs and nods at the same time. Like, good idea. All right, so I'm guessing you guys are now just going to go about setting up a camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How much stuff do we have to make? Like, how many tents can we make?
It's a pretty big crate of supplies, so you could at least make.
10 for 2 people?
It is like, I was gonna say, they're actually like big tarps, like massive. Like you would use these to repair a sail tarps.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
you would
basically
actually
string them up between some trees, and everyone sleeps under that.
You could try that, or if you wanted to actually make proper tents, you'd probably have to cut them down to shape. And if you were to do that, you could probably make, I'd say, 6 2-person tents.
Which would fit all of us.
Yeah.
Easily.
Be a little bit of doubling up, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what the party's used to.
So Lee's big enough to have his own tent, unless Keto wants to stay with him.
Yeah,
I don't know if someone would allow that.
This is actually a thing as well. You guys do not have bedding.
Yeah.
You only have tents.
The idea is probably better if we string them up so we're not sleeping on the cold, hard ground. You're going to lose a lot of body heat that way.
Oh, I actually was supposed
Well,
to.
could also take some vegetation and use it as bedding.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly an
I
option
mean,
if you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was going to say, or if we did like the whole hammock option, it'd be a bit squished.
Which some of us don't mind.
There'd definitely be some snuggling. I also forgot I was actually supposed to roll for how many tents you could make, and it's actually only. Because I was
Only
supposed to
4
roll
if we
8.
cut them down.
I was supposed. In my notes it was roll a d6, not 6. When I glanced over at it.
But still, 4 2-person tents. We got a group of 8.
Yeah, so it works
That's
out.
it.
You just have to figure out how you double.
So that's 2 NPCs in 1 tent.
Assumedly, Driven Chain Watergon in a tent.
Well, if you would have me.
Wouldn't be the first time we've bunked up.
Cut does it in World
Four
War
in the
here.
air. The 4 in the air is. Who does Ketsu go with? Lee or Or do we put
So
Brimstone
now
with Lee
the
and
decision
Failsy
of
Ketsu?
have Failsy be with Brimstone for the night?
Or make Brimstone bunk with Lee. Like boys and girls.
You actually see Flair is. He looks at Brimstone, and there's like, Brimstone, make an insight check.
Okay. And 13.
There is just a moment of connection of we both want some peace and quiet. We should bunk up.
You know,
So-
I think I'm gonna bunk with Mr. Tall, Dark, and Quiet.
Just nods.
Failsy, are you in a sleep with Cassandra?
I have no problem with that.
And then Keta gets
Gives
to
it-
stay with Lee.
Gives a going
That goes right
dog
up to the ears.
Keta.
Okay.
Oh boy, you've
But-
only known each other for a week and already staying in the same tent.
Trevinchay.
Sleep is a matter for another moment, though, as it is currently only about 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, at least getting it set up and arrangement set out.
Yeah, figuring out how it's gonna work.
Yeah, instead of waiting till night.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, what else do you do in a survival situation?
Well, we've set up some shelter, we've got enough food. Guess
Water!
would the next thing then be water?
Well, we're on an island, so it's gonna be a little bit hard to find.
Well, I mean, don't they say that the kingfisher kind of lives here? So it has to drink something.
It's a fish.
And probably filter the salt out organically. That's of no help to us.
At least I'm trying to think.
Cassandra just sounded so rude. Accidentally just, it's a fish. They don't need to drink.
I don't know what it looks like. I haven't seen it.
Technically, they do, just it depends on the amount of salt in the water.
She just shrugs at that.
Elsie would only really know how to find water in a desert, I think.
Yeah, your view of finding water is... Alright,
Dig a
where's
hole.
the... Either dig a hole or go up as high as you can and look for green.
Well, there's also another method of getting water from a desert. The tarp.
Yeah.
Use condensation.
That's actually what Lee suggested earlier as well.
Yeah.
Dig a hole in the beach and make it, and use something to drip water into.
Well, that was suggested at the beach regarding water and evaporation.
I know, I'm just saying, like, that is something Lee mentioned
It's
earlier.
still water.
Wait! Can't we get? Didn't the rowboat? Did our sailboat have did our lifeboat have sails? Sorry, that's the right wording of it.
No,
You guys still have pieces of tarp.
All right. So it's like, well, I mean, we could do what Lee suggested earlier and dig a hole.
We can use the tarp as well as we got plenty of leaves, I guess.
Start at least.
Alright.
While you do that, I'll take one of the sending stones.
There's a lot of palm
And-
fronds out there as well, so we've got plenty of coverage.
And I'm thinking trying to find a high point so that I can see the rest of the island.
You didn't go off by yourself.
The three NPCs all collectively look over at the fact there's a mountain distance.
Yes, I know that there's a mountain.
You
Just
can
to-
climb a mountain by yourself.
That's why I'm grabbing the sending stone so a group of us could go out.
And you actually see Cassandra is looking over the mountain, and then you see like narrow her eyes because she just made a perception check and rolled a nat 20.
Ooh.
There's a building up there.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Didn't one of us already see that last time?
No.
No, you You guys
No,
saw like
we
the
saw the
light
spire.
that's hanging. You saw the light that's hanging from the spire. Which, by the way, so you guys can know, this is where the spire is. It's at the end of this like sandbar that curls out from the island.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the island is a giant anglerfish.
That is how it's supposed to look. A giant anglerfish missing its stomach. But
There's
like she
building.
points, and then you see close to here,
Mm.
there is actually some kind of structure up on the like side of this mountain volcano thing.
Yeah, we should give that a look. Find some helpful information there.
Or somebody
and
who
it-
wants to kill us and eat us.
By the way, it is
Oh,
like
if they wanna kill us and
barely
eat us,
a
we'll-
speck.
How about at least a group of us explore the area a bit more and try to find someplace that's a little closer to see what else is around.
Alright.
You can climb a tree.
Yeah.
Lots of trees around. Yeah, which by the way, I will make a better map of this later and show you guys. The one I already made would not import.
Mm.
I think I messed something up with saving its file, and it doesn't want to import anything.
Question. Since we're kind of at a low point right now, can we take a break?
Yeah, go ahead. Everyone make sure your sips are refilled. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
And we'll be back in 5 to 10.
Yes, exactly.
Alright.
Alrighty.
Let's try to keep it more towards the 5 if possible.
Absolutely. We will do our best to keep it to that. So, back in 5 to 10, everybody.
Your ears are sweating.
I know how that goes.
I love the fact that. Oh god. I don't know who's gonna be here to just hear me talking, but I just love the fact that the party is now just encouraging Kat to just sleep next to Lee, and it's like, fuck, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing! So, hi everybody. I don't know who's out there, but I'm here.
I am here.
Hello. I honestly thought Failsy was going to, just gently nudge Keta away. It's like, I'll take this for tonight. You don't worry yourself. But no, it's like, no. Oh god, they're encouraging me.
Elsie from a very open community.
I can't wait till the night comes and when we start, digging in, dipping into that alcohol. Because guess who gets even more cuddly?
What's about cuddle?
Keta, when she's had a bit.
Nah, understandable. You've got two very interesting alcohols with you guys right now.
It was the Salamander whiskey, I believe, and Grainham what? All I heard was Grainham Proof.
Yeah, it's just called Grainham.
Ah.
Like, because it is the favorite alcohol of Grainham himself, it is just named after him. Like, it is the one alcohol that has the honor of being named after the god of crops.
Kind of sucks we found alcohol, though.
Why does it suck you guys found alcohol? You can get crunk.
Dehydrates you.
Yeah, because it's bad in a survival situation.
That's what you guys think.
Listen, we don't know if this has any effects added to it. Could be fun.
Salamander whiskey would definitely dehydrate you, but Granum Proof is actually... It's very good for you.
I assume Keto would probably know that.
I mean, you've been able to try it before. It's very alcoholic, but it's not like dehydrate you because it is brewed with the essence of life itself in it.
I assume she tried it mostly in the sort of situation like, here, take a sip.
Yeah, and they realized they should never let you do that again because you're bouncing off the walls for the next 4 days.
That's when they learned that if you give Keta something to at least exert her energy into, something weird comes out.
Yeah. This is actually a note because for sake of mechanics, drinking a glass of Granum Proof will remove a level of exhaustion. It reinvigorates the body. But it is incredibly alcoholic.
So we all just get shot. We all get shot glasses.
Alright, what's everyone's status right now?
I'm here.
I am here.
I think Myth is here.
I was never here to begin with.
Okay, I'm back.
I think we're waiting on Armored.
Yeah. By the way, guys, sorry for not noticing the Discord chat. I cannot look at that while I'm in game.
No, that's fine.
That's understandable.
That's why. I think that's why Armored mentioned it.
Yeah.
So it seems that we're gonna have one group go scouting and then the other group go go set up for water.
Yeah, basically one group's going to explore, the other group is going to properly set up home base.
Yeah. I know Keta wants to be a part of setting up home base.
Failsy will join the scout group.
Yep. I kind of figured she would.
Is Cassandra going to go with scouting or help set up actual camp stuff? Because she seems like she's an expert at this stuff.
She's good at both, so it's going to be whatever you guys do.
So whatever is not uneven.
Pretty much.
Is Brimstone going to stay and set up camp? Oh,
Brimstone would go scouting.
Don't leave the tiny child alone.
Lee is going to stay and set up camp.
There you go. Tiny child has a friend.
A very tall friend.
Yes.
He wants to dig a hole in the sand.
He's like a big orcish puppy. I love it.
Complete with the doggy paddle.
Yes, complete with doggy paddle.
Alright. I also know this is technically going to be up to Armored a bit. Since we started at about 8 o'clock, do you think you could do it till 11? Because I have a
Robot. Oof. Oh, oof. Everybody's... Oh, dear. Oh, no.
Can you hear me now? I
Yes.
can't hear any of you if you're talking. There we go. I heard Danny.
Okay. I think
People hear me now.
I think Discord had a fart.
Yeah, I actually had the very rare message of a waiting for endpoint.
Yeah, so did
Pop
I.
up.
I hopped out and then hopped back in, and that popped up. So I think Discord just had a little bit of a fart.
Okay. But yeah, Lee is very
Everyone
much
turned into robots.
Lee is very much like a dog. He's got the doggy paddle. He just wants to swim. He just wants to dip.
Bike.
Welcome back. Armored. I'm gonna have
Yes.
to kind of leave this up to you, but since we started actually playing around 8 o'clock ish, would you be okay if we went until about 11?
Let me just check something first.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Andy.
Alright, I was having much trouble on my phone, so I switched over to computer.
Discord in general actually just kind of frecked up.
Oh, Ket gets to learn more about her new orc friend.
Yeah. Excuse me. But yes.
So my fault.
And ask questions.
I will also say that Flare is going to stay back and help set up camp. For sure.
So it seems it's now down to Da Vinci. Is it literally the whole entire party sans Keta?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know
It's
if Mornig. I don't know
Can
if
check with the
Morgan or
MP.
Da Vinci is. Well, Da Vinci is going, but
And we've got Keta and the NPCs. It's a new band coming to the place today.
I mean, Danny's here. We can ask her.
Yeah.
Is Morgan going to go scouting or stay back and help set up water?
I mean, set up the camp in general.
Yeah, set up the camp farther. Really?
I kind of hate this background music because I actually am thinking it's around me right now.
She'd probably actually go with Da Vinci for the scouting because that's what she's just kind of. It's habit to go with Da Vinci at this point.
Gotta protect the squishy man.
The whole party sans Keta.
pretty much.
Okay.
So
In
all
that
of the
case,
NPCs
Felsy's
are
gonna
staying
leave
back
a
with
setting
Keta.
stone. Felsy's going
So
to leave a
I'm gonna
setting
need
stone with
to-
Keta.
Right.
I'm gonna need to basically be out the door by 7 a.m.
Yeah, so it's up to you, dude.
I want to, but sleep is an important thing.
I mean, you can bow out whenever you need to.
Assume we're probably going to be starting with scouting out first.
I'll try to stick around till at least 10:30.
All right. So let's keep this ball rolling so we can use what time we've got. Is everyone back?
Yeah.
So why don't you guys go start with scouting first?
Alrighty then.
So
So the scouting
Felsy's going to
part.
leave a setting.
Yep.
Felsy will leave a setting stone with Keta.
Mhm.
And
Right,
take
so-
the other side herself.
Gotcha. So Felsi has one stone, Kieta has the other. Alright. So where is our party of scouting individuals wanting to go?
We know the mountain is over here.
Yeah.
So we can either try to explore the shores towards the south, the mountain, or go up north and see what's over there.
by the way, the shore kind of curves around this part, though. Sorry, I'm terrible at using my mouse pad to draw things for obvious reasons. About here is where you guys were before, and beyond that point, it's a very rocky area, like along the shore down here. You're in a large forest that covers this part of the island. You're not sure what's up here. You know this is a sandbar. And it's about here where the mountain suddenly makes like a cliff before becoming a slope upwards.
Okay, so we can at least see that there is a steep, heavy cliff that would prevent us from just going straight to the straight west or straight east.
Yeah, like if you go directly east of you, you'll hit a cliff. And you don't have the perspective to know if there's anywhere on that that's not just a cliff.
So either go northeast and try to go around the mountain, go south and see what's down over here, or northwest and see what's on that sandbar and the spire.
Yep. And you do still see that large glowing thing hanging from the spire. Like, pretty much anywhere where you are on the island, you can more or less see that, unless you're, like, on the complete other side of the mountain.
Well, at least we won't get lost.
So what are you guys doing? Do some discussion.
That building on the mountain will probably wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
That seems a tomorrow job.
Yeah, and I will say, when you guys try to, like, look at it, like, you're surprised that Cassandra was able to spot it, because you can barely see it even when it's pointed out to you.
That is a long way away to try and get there in one day.
Yeah. Let's try exploring a bit more closer. So could either go with investigating the spire, which I'm sure is something you want to do, or we
Yeah, we just
explore
go in-
south and see what's over there.
Well, let's get more information on what we know. Let's take a look at that spire.
Of course you would wanted to go with that.
Alright. So is that what you guys are going to do?
Sounds
Yeah,
good to me.
let's take today's scouting and investigate the area around the spire.
Alrighty then. It's not too hard to trek there, or at least you never lose sight of where you're going because it's always, at least with a few steps, in visual range. Like, sometimes it gets blocked out by the canopy, but the moment you see, like, a break in the trees in its direction, you can always see it. So, you have a pretty good sense of where it is. I still do need a survival check from whoever is leading the charge.
That was has a survival of 1.
For survival, I guess.
Morgan,
Alrighty.
Morgan or
Brimstone.
Brimstone both have +4.
So, I mean, I guess I can roll it if y'all want me to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Morgan takes point.
Belzy can only lead you through a library.
That is a 21.
Nice, nice. So it's actually pretty smooth sailing. At some points, you have to bring forth the Moonlit Aria to hack through a couple of things. Like, the underbrush in this area is very dense and very clearly unmaintained. At some points, you do encounter more of those massive spider webs, like what sort of Vinci almost walked into.
Mm-hmm.
But they're fairly few and far between. You get the sense that there's probably just a lot of spiders on this island. At a couple of points, you do see some wild game. Like, at one point, you see like a deer just gently grazing on the island, and it almost seems to not pay you any mind. Like, it actually looks at you and then doesn't run away. It just watches you.
I wonder if
That was
there's a lack
Costco.
of predators.
Like, Travince, you suddenly look up, and there's actually just a chipmunk that has decided to sit on your head as you're walking along.
Should we shoot one of those?
But you get used to this.
And you suddenly feel the weight on your head disappear. And a squeak in the tree line.
Oh, sounds like you lost your little friend there, didn't ya?
People come and people go. That's the same with creatures.
It was like a pained squeak, by the way.
Well, at the very least,
Oh,
at the very least, if there's creatures on this island, that means there's fresh water somewhere.
And we might
That's
just
true.
find it while we're doing this little trek out.
So it actually is taking you quite a few hours to go along here. Because again, this is not a established track you're trying to walk along.
Yeah.
Like, you're making the best pace you can going through clearings, but you're not exactly used to being in this kind of undergrowth. Just every so often, when you turn and look, you see those tiny beady eyes of a spider staring at you. They never openly move to attack you, they're just always watching you. Seem to
I
be
was going to wonder
really
if
the only-
spiders are edible.
Huh?
I was going to wonder if spiders are edible.
They look very similar to scorpions, but without the stingers on the tail, and you know scorpions are edible. They also look very
I know
similar to a very
five
furry
bolts.
crab.
I was just wondering, it's like, worst comes to worst, I will burn one of these alive and eat it.
wouldn't be my first pick, but in a do or die situation, I guess.
Who has the the jar of beads right now, by the way?
Ah, shit, I do.
Brimstone.
All right. So you guys have the container of rations.
I mean, Kata's back with Cassandra, who has good berry.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, they're set.
Yeah, as
Cassandra
long as I
has
can
already
find
summoned
berries.
good berries today, so
And we already ate one.
yeah, you guys are satisfied. Actually, no, you're not entirely satisfied today. That was to make up for the fact you were unconscious for a day. Like, you will get hungry later on in the day.
Well, at least we have food.
Yes. And so does Keta, because Cassandra will feed you. She's not
Yeah.
mean.
Cassandra sounds like a group mom character. Fairy squad mother.
She's more like crazy aunt. She's like vodka aunt.
Vodka. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, she feeds the baby.
Feed the baby.
She
Feed the baby, give the baby alcohol. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Little did you know, this good berry was laced with Everclear. No.
She'll at least make sure you don't go hungry.
It might make you hallucinate a little bit, considering they are made of holly, which is incredibly poisonous.
You see the Krampus.
Anyways,
And then
Joke.
him getting stabbed with a robot.
Yes. All right.
Not by a robot, with a robot.
I'll stab one motherfucker with another motherfucker.
I'll stab you with me.
Yep. Anyways,
Anyway.
so you all continue your trek along, and again, you seem to notice that the only actual predators on this island seem to be those spiders. But the majority of them seem to recognize you all as being bigger threats and stay away from you. Yeah. Eventually, though, you do break the tree line and you're back on the beach. And technically, you would then be on this map. That's actually here. I had this one attached to this.
Ew.
As this is what you see as you're getting towards the spire.
Oh.
Ignore the name on the back of that boat.
Island of the Sirens.
Yeah, I had to borrow this from a different module.
Ah. So just move our tokens over?
Yep. You'd be coming out of this area. Which it occurs to me I'm using the reveal tool, so you can't see where I'm pinging. You're coming out of this area.
Oh. Oh my.
Oh shit! I drew a line. Wait.
It's gone now. There you go. Tailsy's in a tree. There you go.
Here's... Well, I guess... Here's what happens to the unfortunate ones that get too close.
You think there's enough wood here to make a boat?
There'd be enough wood to make a raft, but anything that would survive the Kingfisher?
As you say that, you do actually notice this thing is a raft.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh look, someone did the work for us.
I highly doubt it's going to survive unless we end up in the scenario where some other Bratch group decide to be idiots and get too close to this place. In fact, that's probably would be one of the best ways for us to get off this place. Have a boat ready for when another ship gets too close to here. But
That's a possibility, that's for sure.
I would like
It
all of you
is.
to make a perception check.
Do what now?
I'd like all of you to make a
Perception
perception check.
Okay.
For the four of us that are there.
Not good. Brimstone is just like hyper alert.
Brimstone is on point.
Brimstone is paranoid.
Usually all of his attention is devoted to keeping Keta in line, and he doesn't have to look for Keta right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Brimstone. Right now, just as you're glancing about, a couple of things draw your attention. You see skeletons over here,
Alright.
next to a crate that's on the actual shore.
Does it look open as far as I can tell, or would I have to get closer?
With your nat 20, you can see that it's unopened.
Okay.
They look like they perhaps died while dragging it ashore.
Oh. Yeah, going
My ruler tool is not wanting to stay clicked down. All right. You do notice that this
Right.
is still somewhat floating. It's definitely
Okay.
damaged and probably would not be seaworthy.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
And you do see that there are these walkways that are just barely floating, that are strapped together, leading out to the various ships.
Oh. Okay, so we got skeletons with a crate over there. Kind of looks like they died dragging it ashore, so I don't know if like that was just their last thing before they died of exhaustion, or something attacked them and killed them. I want to be careful there, but it doesn't look open, so there might be supplies inside. Raft there, which and it's definitely not seaworthy, but it's still floating somewhat, probably just damaged. And
You
then,
could repair it.
yeah, it's a start. But look at all those ships out there. I don't know if all you can see it, but there's walkways that are just barely floating above the surfaces that kind of lead out.
Yeah,
I'm almost wondering if this was some sort of...
Do you
I will
Do you
say
think it's
the
a
reason
case
why they
of-
don't particularly notice them, Morrigan, you actually do notice them a little bit. Like, they are not actually above the surface of the water.
Mm.
Like, they are just buoyant enough that they're staying in place, but they're under the surface.
Right.
So whenever, like, the white wash goes over top of them, they can't really be seen.
Right.
So, do you think it might be a case of a couple other survivors end up building themselves up something before something happened to them?
If I had to take a guess, that would be my my thought, yeah.
Should we investigate the crate first, at least?
Nah. Yeah, it might not be a bad idea.
More boxes of away we go.
Over there.
A box.
Alright then.
What do these skeletons look like? Can I investigate?
Yeah, go ahead and investigate. Is technically be a medicine check if you're trying to figure out... That's intimidation, by the way.
Oh, okay. Wrong button.
You're trying to scare the skeletons into telling you what happened.
Come back alive, motherfuckers!
What are you trying to
I
get, by the
have
way?
questions. I need answers.
Wanted to find out if they have any uniforms or tatters to them.
You see tatters of cloth, but it looks like they've been so waterlogged that a lot of it's just dissolved off the bodies. You can tell that they're old skeletons.
I can't tell like who they might have been.
Not really. You don't see any, like, discerning marks on them. They just look like sailors.
Okay.
While Failsy's doing that, Dervinche will investigate this crate.
Not hard to see what it looks like from the outside. It's very charred. Like, it was dragged out of a fire. But it actually appears to be made out of the same type of very sturdy ironwood that other crate was made out of. The very fancy one.
Okay, so there's no, like, holes or openings or anything?
No, this is like a solid boarded crate.
Okay, gonna try sticking a dagger into one of the seams.
Alright, go ahead and make a strength check.
Every time, strength.
Well, you're not good at it. You actually go to pry the dagger in, and you can't even get it between the seam of the crate and its lid because
Is there a lock to this, or is it a sealed crate?
it's just a very well put together crate.
I can't get into this thing.
Do you want me to try?
Be my guest.
Alright. So, strength check.
I would assume so.
Sorry about that. Someone just knocked on my door.
But
Yes, strength check.
All right. That's a 13.
I keep forgetting. You guys have really no strength in this party.
We don't.
All right,
I
so
want to say I'm the highest strength in the party, and I have a 12.
yeah, probably. You do actually manage to wedge something in there to be able to start prying it open.
Morogon has a dagger.
You manage to wedge. You actually manage to get your dagger into the seam, and it takes some effort and some doing, but you're starting to pry the lid off.
Okay, the moment there's an opening, Da Vinci is going to start helping.
All right.
Fellas is going to have a try at helping.
Yeah, with all of you guys working on it, I'll say you can get it open.
Finally.
Yeah, you actually see that there's a reason why this was really hard to pry open. You see the nails that were holding it on are actually
they're
not
melted.
nails; they're screwed.
Oh.
They are screws,
Ooh. Damn.
which is pretty rare to see.
Yeah, on a crate. Well, maybe just in general.
But I'm guessing also the surface of the screws are rusted through, so you can't really...
They're basically
Prestidigitation
become
of
one with the
screwdriver?
wood. They had become one with the wood, the tops of them. Ironwood has a bad habit of absorbing metal.
Well, that took some
Yes.
effort, but we got it open.
Let's see what's inside.
Alright.
Gotta be something nice.
Inside, you do find more supplies. The inside of this box, despite being very old, despite the fact you can tell this box is very old, it's actually still completely dry in here as well. Like, that thing was packed and put together watertight. There's some old, beyond stale grain in here. But it is all packed around a smaller box. Probably about chest size. Like, a chest you could hold in your hands. About 1 foot by 1 foot large.
Okay.
So like a jewelry box in size.
Yep. It's basically a 1 foot cube with handles on the side.
We pull the box out, and what's in the box? Or is it locked?
The grain's probably a lost cause, but this might not be.
The grain's not rotted, it's just very stale. Like, anyone who wants you could make this would be a survival check to see if it would still be edible.
I meant the last one if
That is perfect. That is perfectly edible. Nom nom nom.
You don't know.
I mean,
You both can make the check. Anyone who wants you can make this check.
I don't think I need to.
Alright. Da Vinci and Brimstone. It's old. Wouldn't taste particularly good. Brimstone, it definitely reminds you of the types of grains you'd have in military rations. So, stale, bland, flavorless, does its job.
I mean...
Fills your stomach.
It's not going to taste good by any means, but it's still usable.
Means more stuff that we can use if we end up having to be stuck here for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess it's not a lost cause after all.
Yeah,
we
it's
still don't know
basically
what's in
wheat and it's basically wheat and barley grain.
We still don't know what's in that chest, though.
Well, let's find out then, shall we?
Who is messing with it?
Is it locked?
No, it actually does not have any form of lock on it. I say it's chest sized. It's not a chest. It's literally a 1 foot cube of wood with handles.
Okay.
And it has seams on it.
So is there an obvious lid?
Nope.
Morrigan will try to open it.
Make me an investigation check.
Investigation?
Yep.
Alright. That's a 9.
You're like trying to open it like you would a chest, and it doesn't like come apart at all. Like you can feel like the edges of your fingernails going into those seams.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously they should come apart, but you feel like there's probably a specific way it has to.
I can't figure this blasted thing out.
Let me have a try.
Same thing.
Let's see if Felsi's.
You're the one constantly studying. If you've got something.
Let's see.
Alright, ACC. There you go. Failsy, you saw them trying to open it like a chest, so like directly along a horizontal seam it has on it. You saw Morrigan try to open it one way, then Dravinci basically turn the box over and try to open it the other way, like maybe it was hinged. But you notice that there's also a seam running along the center of the top of it, and you just noticed that when they were doing that, that seam opened just a tiny bit. So when you go to start messing with it, you basically take
It's like a toolbox.
Yeah, it opens like a toolbox. So when you put your fingers into that seam and pull it open, the top half of the box splits open, opens up, and there's nothing inside, but now it's become half as tall and twice as wide.
Oh, this is some puzzle box bullshit, isn't it?
Also, the handles that were on the outside seemingly just meld into the box.
I'm thinking more that
Bales is going to take a guess. Let's be an Arcana check to see if this is enchanted. And is this a portable canoe?
I mean, you wouldn't know what that is. No offense. Felzy would not know what that is.
Yeah, but would this be an enchanted thing?
You can make an Arcana check to see if it's enchanted, though you're pretty sure it is, considering it just did this and has no hinges on it.
LDNDN?
Yes.
Bales not having a good day with Arcana.
I mean, even with a low roll, you can already tell this is magical in some way. Because you just folded it in half, and it has no hinges, and it's staying together. When it literally folded in half on like a paper-thin edge.
Do you think that it may be...
So does this still look like a box? Like there's no...
It's
holes on the
covered
inside?
in those seams. Like, this thing basically has a grid pattern on it.
Can I roll an
Can
Arcana?
Felsi
Sorry, what was Failsy going to do? I don't want to cut away from that.
can Felsi open it again?
Like, the same way, or a different way?
Like try and make it open up in another way to go further.
Yeah, basically you start putting your fingers into different seams, and eventually you do actually make it open up again. This time, basically folding in half along it lengthwise, and now it's again half as tall, twice as wide, and it's basically formed into a long flat or a large flat cube.
Scratching head. It's like, the hell is this thing?
Now may I roll an Arcana check?
Yes. Definitely magical. You've no idea what this thing is.
Hmm.
Oh, whatever it is, it's definitely magic.
Maybe we could fold it back up how it was before and bring it back with us.
Yeah, maybe Flair or Cassandra might know what it is.
And if you were to try to fold it back up, basically undoing the steps you have done does make it collapse back into the 1 foot by 1 foot cube.
Has anyone got a bag?
Hmm?
Has anyone else got a bag?
No, I think we lost all of ours.
We can take.
Okay.
You could dump
You-
all the
you
grain
mentioned
out
that-
of one of the bags that grain is in.
I'm
Oh,
just saying, Felzy has a bag. I just didn't know if anyone else did.
This would be kind of
This bag
big
has all
to
these
fit in a
things.
bag that has other stuff in it.
yeah.
Well, you're saying that it basically shifts to being half, basically kind of folding in half. So could we make it to the size of a flat board and then just slot it in somewhere?
Where? No, because if it's a flat board, it would be like 6 feet wide in all dimensions.
Yeah.
Well, not a fully flat board, but just trying to find a configuration that would allow
It only
not
seems to get bigger as you unfold it. I will say that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the smallest we're gonna get it.
Well, Felzy will hold it for now.
Yep.
Since,
But again, if you were to just, I will say as well, that box you just got it out of has about 9 bags of grain in it. So if you just dumped one of them out, you could put it in one of the bags.
Should we take some of the bags of grain with us?
If they're useful, I'd say so.
perhaps on our way back out, I guess. So we're
Yeah.
not lugging it all over this area.
Yeah. Maybe leave the box with them as well.
Alright. So you leave the grain in the box back in the crate you found them in. For now, at
Well,
least.
that was the suggestion. Does Failsy put the crate back or the box back down?
Felzy's just holding the box like, I like this box. This box is weird.
There's definitely
Okay,
something
so-
about it that's tickling your sense from magic.
Hmm. Can I perceive if there's anything of note over in this kind of direction?
You see sunken ship under the water, just barely surfacing. At some point, it was clearly like beached on the rocky shore. You see a much larger ship that's currently leaning against it, still slightly sticking out of the water. Like, it's not a perception check to notice anything, because it's all pretty obvious once you're getting closer. Like, you even realize what you're standing on right now. As you look down, there's sand on it, but it's actually the deck of a sunken ship.
I wonder what else could be found here.
Well, it'd probably be better if we brought the others here more eyes to see more things.
Should we take a look inside one of these ships?
Maybe that one over there on the shore?
Yeah, that's probably our best bet. At the very least, the one that has the least danger of trapping us trapping us underwater.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's go take a look at that.
All right. You're looking at this ship. Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You're looking at this ship, and looking at the situation it's in. You have no idea how this got on the shore. Like, this is a much smaller ship than the other ones you're seeing further out in the water. But it appears to have been somehow lost its front half and flung onto dry land. Like, and there's like clear impact where it has sunken into the ground.
So, from walking towards it, do we walk into the back half, or do we walk on top of the back half?
Right now it's currently making like about a 45-degree angle with the ground. Like, if you were to walk, you'd basically be going to it, and then it's an incline upwards. And the only way to be getting inside it was one of those two holes that are in the deck of the ship.
Yeah, so we're walking on top of it. We're walking basically on the deck of it to get on it, and then dropping down.
Yep.
Okay. How tall is the rear end of this ship?
It's probably about
In the air.
20 feet in the air. You guys don't see that. Whoever pinged that, you don't see it.
Yeah, I realized that's why I was not saying anything about it.
Da Vinci is going to slowly climb up to the top to see what he can see from a higher viewpoint.
Not too hard. At some point, you basically just use your dagger to make a pinhole into the surface. You definitely fear... Well, fear, yes. You definitely feel like the creaks of this, like the boards of this creaking underfoot. They're definitely not the sturdiest. But you're not an overly heavy man, so you were able to get up there.
Anyone else comes up, be careful. The wood's rotted.
You'd actually probably be able to say that if anywhere else were to climb up, it would not be able to hold both of their weight.
Is this a hole here?
Yep.
Is that also in the deck, or is that like at the sort of ground level?
It's not a total porthole. It still has like a lattice of wood across it, but you can look in.
I was going to take a peek.
So do I see anything else of note?
If you want to make a perception check, but you can obviously just see what you can see on the map. So you see that currently rotted and a lot of nat 20s on perception tonight. So you see that rotted and bloated corpse that has been washed up on the land right there. You see a backpack sitting to his side. Next to that, you see in the water what was clearly his sort of lifeboat. He managed to get into this land on, but didn't make it very far. Other than that, you do see in the shipwreck that's directly north of you, there is something glinting inside of it. You see something shiny. Yeah, in that hole.
Shiny shinies?
You see a shiny.
Yeah, I was just indicating there in general.
Yep, you see a shiny in there. And you turn and look back at the tree line and see at least 6 pairs, or at least 6 sets of those beady eyes looking at you. And when they notice you look at them, they dart back into the darkness of the tree line.
Okay,
What are you seeing?
Vinci's gonna kind of slide back down. Okay, on the other side of the ship, on the shore, there's a backpack. Might be able to salvage it. There's definitely something in that boat over there across the sunken walkway. Although I'm not feeling comfortable some of the forest denizens are getting curious.
They're just spiders. Well, as we get curious, maybe they aren't just spiders.
Perhaps we should just gather up what we can here and just head back to the others then.
Well, I'd at least say if we investigate whatever this backpack is.
Alright.
And we can get out.
Yeah.
I'd also like you to make a investigation check for what you're doing. Yes.
It's a bit dark in there.
And let me see if how unnoticeable this would be. Actually, you met the roll I just did for this. Surprisingly. You do see a small bag, but it's just out of arm's reach.
So you would have to
It's like
hop in.
It's currently like caught on part of the rigging on the inside of the ship.
Does it look heavy?
Maybe? It's hard to tell, but you see, like, it is a bag, and you see there's a small tear in it, and you just see, as the sun, like, beams through a ripped open board in the top of the deck, there's just a little bit of a shiny there.
Felsy's going to try and mage hand the, like, it off, like, the bag to bring it towards herself.
Yeah, Mage Hand grabs it, takes a little bit of a finagling to get it off where it's, like, basically stabbed through with a piece of wood. But it's not too heavy for the Mage Hand to lift up. You drag it back towards you. It's actually a bag of coin.
Oh.
If you do want to investigate the backpack, I'm curious as to what's on that ship.
What shit?
For the sake of your notes, Felzy, and a very quick count, because all adventurers somehow can count at lightning speed, it's a bag of 123 gold pieces.
Hey, 100.
Yes, 123 gold.
Hey, somebody was very meticulous. Could be a lot worse. It could have been 1 gold, 2 silver, 3 copper.
You
What
have
Da
the dawn
Vinci
and sorry.
What Da Vinci is referring to is the glint he saw on this ship.
Over there.
It's
I'm not talking sense to the boy. That's your job. Brimstone's just gonna start walking towards where the backpack was.
Yeah, basically just around that big rock.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at the backpack, then we'll see what it's going to take to venture to the big ship over there.
Alright. Brimstone, as you get over there, you notice something that Da Vinci distinctly failed to mention was a rotted and bloating corpse sitting next to said backpack.
Well, not taking any chances. I'm gonna shoot the thing with my longbow.
Like just like double tap it just like into the back of the head.
Yes.
Alright. Do you just shoot? Do you actually just like shoot it in the head, or do you just shoot it in general?
In the head.
Alright. I guess roll to attack.
Okay.
advantage? Auto crit?
It's a prone target, so no.
Yeah.
You're basically just tapping it.
19 to hit.
I mean, yeah, you hit it. The arrow goes
Yes.
right into the head.
Okay.
There's just the disgusting as you would expect, gross brain matter just leaks out. Wasn't a zombie, just a dead person.
Never be too safe. Just pull it out, kind of rinse off the rotting gray matter in the water.
The arrowhead is unsalvageable. It punched through a
is it?
skull.
Okay, never mind then. Just, nah, fuck it. Oh well.
You can keep the shaft, but you're down 1 arrowhead.
Nah. Okay. What's in the backpack?
That is actually a. Let me see. This is a kit. Let me see which one it is. This is actually a burglar's kit.
Oh.
Huh.
Does that mean we have a set of these tools?
Shh, fuck off.
Better yet, we have a crowbar.
Hey!
Yeah,
Doubt.
if you do
That's
find a
pretty useful.
crowbar,
See?
it's rusted.
See, I had that, and then I lost it.
Yeah, the crowbar you find is very rusted, but it looks like it should still do its job. You just might not be able to do some very severe prying with it.
Yeah. If we push it too hard, it'll just snap.
Dravinche, as you're walking along that path, you're obviously having to be very careful.
Yep.
It is a fairly solid built pathway, though.
Yeah,
Pretty
just
slippery.
being very
You have to
careful walking.
stop and wait as a couple of waves crash over it, and you don't want to get knocked off. There was going to be something here, but you have to leave at 10. You were going to leave at 10:30, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah. As you get to that point, you notice you're basically just walking along the back of another sunken ship.
Baby.
It's terrifying the amount of ships you're seeing here in such a small cove.
Yeah.
And of all different sizes, too. Like frigates, galleons, sloops. All this different sizes of ships.
The amount of poor souls who tried to venture close to this place.
Yeah. You do actually notice that big boat that's over there, the one that has the name on it, of this place, that is, without a doubt, half of a galleon. You don't know where the other half is. But given the fact you know the creature that attacks this place has a proclivity for smashing a ship in half with its body,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a good reason why there's a lot of half ships here.
Yeah, break the ship, make it humble.
All right, so
So
you're getting in
since-
there.
Dravinche saw where the glint was.
Let's see. You get in there, and you notice it is coming from, like before, you just saw there's barely the hint of a little shine.
Mm-hmm.
You get in there, and it is coming from a sword that is stuck into the deck,
nice.
the under deck of the ship.
Oh, nice.
Dravinche is going to risk it and try to gently unwedge the sword.
All right. The framework lattice of the ship, as you can see on the map, is still in place. So you basically just very carefully lay yourself against that and reach your hand down and just manage to grab hold of the hilt. And I'm not going to make you make a strength check for this. You're able to pull it free.
Okay. Perfect.
It's in pristine condition. It's a cutlass.
Ooh, can replace my scimitar.
Fast.
Statistically the same as a scimitar.
Yes.
Yeah, just stepping aside.
Oh, that's nice.
You do notice that there's a bit of an arcane inscription along the blade,
Oh,
and that it's still in
Good.
pristine condition despite the fact that it's been half submerged in seawater for God knows how long.
I'll have to show this to the others, but first, getting back.
Alright then. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Hey.
Ah, yes. Nice.
You hear, you're just walking back along real carefully. You're listening to the sounds of the water, making sure that you don't accidentally get knocked off by an errant wave. You hear something come out of the water slightly. It immediately sets off your panic sense and you dive forward. Go ahead and move yourself forward a few squares. And just hear a behind you as a large pincer is poking out of the water where one of your legs just were.
Okay, running.
Yep.
Huh.
There's just a large. You see a large crab slowly sink back into the water, having missed its opportunity for a meal. Just gives like a couple of snaps before swimming back down.
That's just Brimstone Spirit Animal.
Are you alright?
I'm fine, and think I got something.
Oh, that's good. Let's get away from the water then. That didn't look too pleasant.
No, let's get out of here. Let's
By the
grab
way,
some
just so
grain
you-
and let's move.
Just so you can know, it was like a bright blue crab.
Ooh, one.
Kind of looked like a coconut crab, but bigger.
Oh no,
Oh,
it was
God.
Tamatoa.
Those things are huge.
Yeah, think the actual main body of this thing, probably about 2 foot in diameter.
Oh,
Mm.
I mean, that's not that big. It's pretty big.
It's Tamatoa!
Its one claw that it tried to snap at him with, bigger than its body.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, it's like a fiddler.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I am not crab food. That is, we've got
did-
some things,
You did not get your leg broken.
I shall name him Kingdom.
and let's get moving.
Yes. Alright, so I assume each of you is going to grab one bag of grain, then one person is going to grab the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Failsy's got the box.
I have. Yeah, I got the Steely kit, which does not have thieves' tools.
Yeah, it does. Burglars don't get thieves' tools. Burglars don't discreetly steal things, they smash and grab.
Anyway,
Burglar's kit. I think it does have a thieves kit.
no.
No, it's a very specific thing. They do
Yeah,
not have
yeah,
thieves' tools.
yeah. It's an equipment bag. Rogues get thieves' tools as part of their kit because they're rogues.
Okay, so
I will say, by the way, the pack is a little damaged, but still usable.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the leather is waterlogged, but
Yeah.
it'll probably hold up for a little while.
Yeah.
hold up long enough.
So you're gonna grab 3 bags of grain because these are like 40-pound bags of grain.
Yeah, those are hefty.
Hey, that's 40 pounds of food.
Then do we really need to each grab one?
It's up to you guys. There's 9 of well. Since I'm assuming you put the box in one of them, there is 8 of them to grab.
So that's also a lot to have to transport every day.
You can just leave it at your camp if you assume to stay at that camp.
I guess if we don't move camp every day.
It's up to you.
Why would you though?
Anyways, just what are you grabbing?
Well, Morgon's definitely going to grab a bag of grain.
I think each of us having a bag of grain. If we need to move around, if we think it's too much, we can easily leave it behind. If we need more, we know where to get more.
So 3 bags of grain, so that's 40 pounds of grain per bag. There's wheat and
140.
barley as option, though it doesn't matter very much which one you take.
Not really. We've probably been there long enough that any taste differences have been
Yeah, it's
basically
all
made
it's-
no.
it's all ash flavored.
It's meal
Not
grain.
me, but
That would be weird.
I don't.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's stale flavored.
so yeah. All right, so you
Also make
guys
sure to
load
put
up.
the lid back on the box.
You can't really. You can like smack it back on pretty hard, but since they were screwed in, not nailed in, it won't go
Yeah.
quite back into place.
Yeah.
It's just to cover the remaining sacks of grain
Fair enough.
from the rain.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so you load that up and you can start heading back.
Yep.
So as you're heading back, the distinct feeling of worry in Dervinche's mind does not lessen, given what he saw when he was doing his Overwatch.
Yeah, just keeping a constant eye out for, okay, is there something getting ready to strike?
For the sake of brevity, your trip back will be uneventful. I'm going to cut over to the other group.
Hello!
Sorry, Andy.
It's just me and the NPCs.
They had a lot to explore. I'm sorry.
It's literally just them. It's literally Kenta help setting up camp because she doesn't know what she's doing. She's listening to Cassandra.
Cassandra basically going over with you how to set up a good tent.
Because small spoiled baby.
I was stuck in a house.
Small spoiled baby.
Weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Alright, so yeah, she basically just shows you the basics of how to set up a tent. She actually has a knife on her that's specifically used for whittling wood, and she, albeit probably pretty unsuccessfully given your lack of experience, shows you how to make tent poles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, properly set these tarps up as tents.
Tent set up.
Yep.
I assume.
Yeah. At one point, she does you see her actually cast a spell, and then just like a weird arcane force just race off into the woods. And later on, she just suddenly, like, you see that same force like rush back to her, and she's like, "All right, so we've got a little freshwater pond over there.
It's good.
About a 20 minutes walk though. That's annoying."
I mean, do we still want to set up the thing on the beach?
Probably for the best. Ponds aren't the best for drinking water, but it'll work in a pinch. Probably better to get this thing set up on the beach if you want to go help Lee do that.
Yes. I'm good to
She
the
just
hall.
gives a smile when she hears you respond so enthusiastically.
I just feel she just immediately just starts scrambling off.
Yep. Probably.
Kenta's very excited to dig a hole and maybe find some she shells.
Yes. Alright, so you head back to the beach where Lee currently is.
Dig a hole with her.
You see him literally as you're coming back. He's not over there. It's just that I haven't had a chance to move his token yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's in this part of the beach.
Right.
You see, as you're coming back,
Mm-hmm.
there's about a 10-foot wide hole dug into the beach already. And
Head poking out occasionally.
when you laugh at that, you see his head just like a gopher just go. Hmm?
Or like a dog.
Like he rises out of the center of the pit, so you know his head could still poke out. So it's less than 8 feet deep.
Completely honest.
I brought tarps. Or at least the rest of them.
Good. Come help me.
It just like ducks back into the pit.
She gives a cursory look like, how the fuck am I getting down there?
I mean, it's like an inclined pit. Like, it's in sand, so...
Alright, so she'll kind of make her way down and help dig.
I mean, at this point, he's gotten about as deep as it needs to be. He just needs help, like, getting things set up in the pit.
Yeah, so she'll help as much as she can.
Alright. Let's see if I actually have, like, a thing I can use to represent this.
And as we're kind of working, Kenta will look over. You said you were shipwrecked before?
Yeah. Not fun.
Shipwrecked before? Did you get shipwrecked before?
Other Leviathan attack.
Is it the Kingfisher?
No.
It must suck. That must suck a lot.
It's not fun. But for the best. Those people. Yeah.
He sort of like gives a dismissive like toss of the hair, just like, duh.
I mean,
Didn't want to be on that crew.
if it's any sort of consolation of how bad this is my first time really out of my house.
He just sort of gives you like a sympathetic look, just like, oh, that sucks.
Out of the house, first time Dad leaves me alone, and then
Sorry. What?
Keta's just kind of talking to herself as she's.
Okay. I didn't actually hear what you said after she said the first time someone leaves me alone.
Oh yeah, first time Dad leaves me alone.
Yeah, I don't think the thought was completed there.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if it got cut off. So.
Nah, if it did, I didn't hear it either, so.
Yeah.
You got it.
Some dads suck.
My dad isn't.
What?
It's just he's overprotective. He was in the military. The green tiefling. He was in the military with him, and well, I wasn't supposed to be born, but I was born. A little
You
girl.
see when you say I wasn't supposed to be bored, Lee gives you like a look. He's gonna insight you and see if he can kind of
Okay.
gather what you mean by that.
I can roll deception on that.
Yeah.
Just kept it kind of walking around the truth.
Yeah, go ahead and roll deception.
Alright. Alright, give me a second.
13.
He beat you out with a total 16.
Whoa. Don't you lie, Lee.
She's not lying.
Don't you dance around the truth with Lee.
Hush. You guys aren't here. Mute yourselves. Well, it's because your commentary makes me giggle and it makes it hard to think.
I see no reason why you shouldn't have been born. You seem like a happy ray of sunshine.
Lee, can you keep a secret?
What's that?
He sort of like crawls up to the edge of the pit and like leans in to give you his ear.
So, my dad is a tiefling.
Uh-huh.
She kind of points to her, like, little nubs.
He actually like reaches a hand up and pokes one.
But my mom, Nazimar, is...
I have to make sure Lee's not someone who's been super knowledgeable of the world.
That's like... Those are like the kids of the gods, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
My mom's an Nazimar.
He just sort of looks a little bit confused at you, but nods.
They're not... Mom... It took the work of another Nazimar, my aunt, for her to have me. I was very sick as a little baby. Sick. So, my dad got very overprotective that I'd get sick again. House. I had everything I wanted in the house.
You see, actually, when you mention you getting sick again, Lee actually puts the back of his hand on your forehead.
Oh, I don't feel sick. It's just people don't know about me, and they're not supposed to know about me. Because if they know about me, then I have to go to church. I have to prove myself as an asthma, but I don't really want to do that. I want to adventure. I want to meet people like you.
You could still meet people. Those Azumar, they're fancy folks, they travel.
And I'm just very worried.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got to meet you.
I'm glad I got to meet you too. You're very nice. And her face kind of turns a bit pink as she looks.
You see, as your face turns pink, he actually, previously he had moved his hand away, but it immediately goes back to your forehead.
But I said on the ship when the Kraken was attacking. I don't know if you heard me.
The whole event's a little fuzzy. Got hit in the head a few.
But I like you. You're very good.
The hand that's on your forehead just goes to your cheek.
Just probably assume I'm very new to all this.
That's fine. Never had someone like me before.
Well, let's see, why not? You're very nice.
Just...
Just the smile. You're actually not sure how old Lee is.
How old are you? Or do you know?
I was born on a boat. Hard to say. I think Gordon said I was probably 18, 20 years old. That was his best guess.
Very tall.
He just sort of nods, just people have told him that a lot before.
I mean, you're probably around my age then, and I turned 19.
Yeah.
Most people think I'm much younger.
You are kinda small.
Kind of gives us a shrug, I've been told that too. Was the girl or not? I mean, my dad's tall. Maybe I'll grow. I don't know, but I know these are supposed to grow, and she pokes the little nubs.
By the way, his hand has not left your cheek.
Oh, God. Is that the whole done? Very I don't know what to do.
You see him sort of he's just been sort of looking at you this whole time. And then he sort of snaps back to reality.
Yeah. Almost done.
Should we go back to Cassandra and Flair? Or do we need anything else to do with the hole?
I mean, gotta set up the water catcher.
Do you want to do the tarts and I'll get some of the leaves?
Yeah. Oh, also found this.
And he climbs out of the pit and goes over to the big pile of sand he's been digging out of the water. Or out of the beach. like fishes through it for a second, and then pulls out half of a massive clamshell. Or actually, basically pulls out a whole clam. That's probably about... It's like a circular clam. It's probably about 3 feet wide and about 2 feet tall.
It's big.
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't remember what they call it. I call them snappy rocks
Okay.
because sometimes when I swim, they bite my ankles.
Is it food?
They have food inside them.
And it has a very pretty tail.
This thing actually looks like a giant rock.
Keta finds the beauty in all things.
Fair enough. It's like a rock covered in little barnacles.
This one bit my hand.
They like... And you notice he holds up his other hand, which has a very distinct, like, ripped skin around his wrist.
Just kind of... And kind of just gently... Is it still actively bleeding?
No! Like, you get the sense that this happened a while ago. And orcs, as I mentioned before, they stop bleeding very quickly. Because their bodies naturally resist being damaged.
Takes his arm and like kind of puts up to like to like they howl kind of like she's very confused.
I thought it was just a rock. I moved it, and it bit my hand.
Stop bleeding.
Oh, did you say how did it stop bleeding?
No, she said at least it's not bleeding.
Oh, okay, sorry. You are cutting out a little bit. Just making
Sorry.
sure. It's fine.
Yeah. But I know when you break these open, you can use the shell for like a bowl. It's also really
Maybe.
pretty on the inside.
Probably use it as a pot. That's how big it is.
One side a pot, other side a bowl. Gotta break it open.
Think for that, Sandra, help because she got the very sharp knife.
He's like enthusiastically nods at you.
Keta will gather up the tarps that she brought, like in a really weird blanket motion.
Yeah. And you basically just go through and set up the basically slowly draping inwards towards the middle point collection. Basically a solar still, as it's called. Collects the evaporating water from the ground, drips it into a pot, safe to drink. But Lee has picked up this giant clam in hopes that you can use it as a pot if you can break it open. Because you guys don't actually have a metal vessel to put anything in. Or a vessel at all.
Back to Cassandra. To
It would be about at this point where everyone else is getting back.
but before they do, I need to just lean down one more time.
I mean, he's kind of staying on your level.
Oh, well, okay.
You're not sure why he's like... At first, you're not really sure why he's like squatting and walking next to you. At first, you think it's just because this clamshell is really heavy and he's having to hold it that way. Eventually, you kind of get the sense he's doing it on purpose because he wants to be on the same level as you.
But as they're walking, Kenta will kind of lean over and give his quick kiss. Done. Kiss his cheek.
Yeah.
He would try to lean over, but if he did, he'd smack you with a, like, 200-pound clam. And I say, by the way, that this took as long because Cassandra was trying for a really long time to teach you how to do that. Like, set up a camp properly. And that's when everyone else was still doing their traveling. So by the time they get back and you're back with Lee, everyone is back at the same time.
And just as they're walking in the camp, and just as a warning, Brimstone calls it cuddly when I sleep.
Yeah. Go and cause
Doesn't
me
like
a
it.
mess when I sleep.
Kind of under that for a moment, like what?
Lee is one of those people that basically like sprawls themselves out across
Yeah.
their entire bed.
Yeah, just kind of like they kind of dive from the diving board, just whack, belly flop on the bed.
Oh,
Like
he's
Family Guy fall into bed.
Yeah.
Starfish. He starfishes in bed.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. He needs lots of room.
leaves a lot of room for Kenta to cuddle up to.
Yes.
You could
Kenta
practically
just
sleep
ends up
on
being
top
the
of him and have a
tiny little-
bed.
That's probably what Kenta's
Kenta
gonna
would
end
just
up
use
doing.
him as the bed. Just sleep on his chest.
That's
Yep.
what Ash just said.
Alright. So you all get back at the same time, bringing this boat thing with you, and you see from the other side of the camp, Lee and Keta come back, and Lee is carrying a massive clam.
That's a big one there.
Bit him!
Yeah.
That's, well, that's impressive.
How did you find that?
It was in the sand.
Yeah, I guess it's
The-
fair. Still kicking, or?
Yeah.
As he said,
Alright.
as you ask if it's still kicking, and he says yeah, the weird thing that clams do when they try to move around and stick out their, what looks
Yeah.
like a tongue,
Yeah,
but is
yeah,
actually
their
just
foot.
their inductor muscle, their
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah, the foot.
It sort of like opens and goes, and then sucks back in when it can't grab anything.
Ah.
Well,
Nice.
that'll make for good eating.
And we can leave it as a pot.
Yeah, we'll find that, and maybe, I don't know, some fruits and vegetables. And actually have a
Yeah,
meal
fruit.
that's not just, well, just kind of holds up the jar. Days.
And
All
also
calories and
not,
vitamins you'd eat, but weird.
and also not these. Speaking of which, we did find some things on our investigation.
That's fine.
A fuck ton of wheat and barley. It's not
Great.
gonna taste,
So
not gonna taste very good though, I'm gonna be honest.
we have
Really
more
awesome
food,
yesterday.
at least.
Yeah, found more food, found, just hold up the burglar's pack. I don't know how much of it's gonna be useful, but we got rope. I need more
I
of
found
it.
a snappy rock.
That you did.
We found a box. If fails, you'd care to show them?
It's an ever-opening box. Opens up
Yeah.
the first layer. So on the inside, is it just like a big block of wood on the inside as well?
Like when you were investigating it before, yes, it's practically just like an ever expanding set of small cubes of wood. It's like it starts off as basically 8 cubes of wood, and then you open it up, and it's still like constantly getting bigger, like wider and flatter, but the cubes progressively get smaller and smaller.
I'm gonna figure out what this thing is.
Cassandra just sort of looks at it just like, huh. Maybe you should show that to Flair.
There is Flair.
See his head slowly poke out of his tent.
And,
He just sort of makes
Flair.
it.
I
Hey,
heard.
you know what this thing is?
Mm. Mm. And for like the first time since you've seen him, his expression changes.
I almost just picture his head as like an old dog, where it's just like slowly turning. Just shit, that's cool.
It's like
Anyway.
the entire time you've known him, he's had like a kind of grimace on his face, like he doesn't want to be doing anything.
I mean,
But like for the first time, he actually shows genuine interest.
real shit.
Oh. Bring that over here.
And
Bowser comes over with the box.
He's gonna cast Identify on this thing. Flair is a magic user. I don't know why I rolled for that. Identify is a very obvious effect.
To see if he hasn't prepared.
He does. He's not a person that prepares. Anyways. Yeah, she sort of like nods and nods. Huh. You've got a boat.
About
Everyone got out there. I don't know what I have.
oh, what?
Something's chicken.
A boat.
Oh,
You mean like a raft?
No.
it's a boat.
He's just sort of like looks at Cassandra, just like you. Like you get like the idea of like there's a silent conversation of you explain this, I don't want to, and he sinks back into his tent.
There's some magic fuckery in it.
You see her like pause for a second. Okay. For Pete's sake, Flair, you can talk to people. That's not
Yeah.
the right voice.
Yeah, but no, I get it.
Have a casting message to talk to me instead of you guys? Oh, he's weird. Apparently it's something called a, and she does air quotes, folding boat? Apparently if you throw it in water, it'll turn into like a galleon.
We don't have the people power.
Oh.
That sounds like. It sounds like he's fucking with me. Is he fucking with me?
You can make an insight check.
Brimstone's not gonna make an insight check. I'm just doing it for the joke.
I mean, like, you have no reason to assume he's fucking with you. He doesn't seem like he cares enough to fuck with you.
Yeah, I
He
guess-
has your demeanor.
Is there a command word to make it not fold up, or is this like hydrophobic or something?
It would be the exact opposite. Actually.
Hydroscopic. Anyways.
You're saying science words. This is magic. Fuck off.
There's science in this world, you dude.
I know. I'm basically going to be doing it.
She just sort of like stares at the tent for a while, waiting for a response to your question.
Like, what if I don't? What if I want to make it not be a boat?
And don't throw it in water.
Apparently you have to start to unfold. I'm not Annabelle right now. Apparently you have to start to. I don't care. That's the accent it wants to do right now. Apparently you have to start to unfold it.
What? Cassandra might have taken a couple too many blows to the head. She can't keep her own accent straight.
I used to be really good at accents, and then I started talking as Annabelle and actually using my original accent for that, and now it just wants to take back over. Anyways. Just, apparently if you start to unfold it in water, she's gonna, like, totally fold out on you. And apparently
how do I
it'll
make
change size depending on the type of water you put it into.
I mean, that's convenient. It would kind of suck if we, put it in a river and it's on a galleon.
Yeah, apparently a galleon...
We don't have
Apparently
the
a
manpower
galleon
for it.
is... Well, that's what you think. I know Flair has some options for that one. A galleon is what you'll get if you do salt water, like in an ocean or a sea. You apparently get a... What is the class under a galleon?
Schooner?
Ship.
You basically get a longboat if it's in a river. That's the word I was trying to think of.
We have a way off the island. We have food. We have camp. We're gonna have water.
Didn't you find something?
Yes, I found this.
You pull out
Going off the cutlass.
That's not a gun, I don't care.
Actually, Felzy, you see the cutlass, and your brain immediately blinks back to what you were being instructed to in the class. You're just like, oh, that's a basic enchanted cutlass, i.e. a +1. It has the most basic form of enchantment, which is just magical infusion to improve durability and hardness. What is technically, if I remember rightly, referred to as the warrior enchantment for this world.
Ooh, a warrior enchanted sword.
Yeah, like most basic enchantments have a name associated with them. Like how Stones of Sydney are referred to as being enchanted with voice. It has the rune of warrior on it.
Okay, so I essentially already have a scimitar of +1. Sweet!
Yep. Only because you managed to spot it.
Thank you, Nat 20 perception.
It's useful.
I think we should probably get to cooking. Can somebody help me and Lee get the clam, the shiny rock? No, the bitey rock. It's not shiny.
Well, we now have a crowbar.
Yeah, kind of.
Hey,
Kind of have
you
a
have
war.
He actually looks at that sword you have now. He's like,
Hey, hit the back of this rock.
and he basically jams its forward face down into the ground and shows you where the inductor muscle keeps the shell together in the back.
Stab this.
Alright. 3, 2, 1. Ha!
You are so lucky because you hit its armor class. So you swing your... It does not have much HP, it just has really high armor. You also would have technically had advantage, but it doesn't matter because you hit it.
Well,
But you take your sword, you see that thin seam where it's kept together, yeah, you hit it. And you just bring it straight down onto that seam perfectly, and the shell just splits in half. And basically, as you're bringing it down and it's splitting, because Lee's kind of pulling it in half, you carve all of the muscles holding it one half off. You just basically have a gigantic clam on a half shell. And then the other half of the shell.
I only have a pot!
Yes.
Oh, good work there, Da Vinci. That was excellent.
And we have a plate. A really big plate.
Move a bowl.
I think I like this sword.
And since Cassandra does have a fire set up with a roasting spit, Lee just sort of... It kind of destroys the fire, to be honest, but he just sort of sets the part of it with the shell still onto the fire, which completely crushes the fire, but it will stay hot enough to cook this thing through. That's the embers directly heating the shell. And he just walks away carrying the other half of the shell to go put it in the solar still. Just all the while going, do 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 do, got the shell.
Just smiling,
Just singing himself a little tune as he walks away.
just smiling as she looks at him. Just walking away.
That's about all that's prepared for tonight.
I assume
Alrighty.
it's we eat.
and we'll be picking up as you guys are bedding down next game.
Speaking of bedding down,
Go sleep.
I won't be doing the shilling tonight. Everyone already knows.
If you
Yeah.
could at least give me the post the link so I can post them in the Twitch chat real fast, though.
Give me one moment.
Never hurts to at least share the links.
I'm gonna hop off early, guys. So
Goodbye, Armored.
hope you all have a good night, and everyone who's watching.
All right.
Goodbye.
Good night, Armored.
Alright then. Yes. Dragged on a little bit longer than I expected it to, but it was fun.
Yee.
Adorable.
Lee is a puppy of a man.
Yee.
The kitty cat of a girl.
Yeah, I just like Keta giving Lee the kiss, and just why do I suddenly feel very angry right now?
Why do I feel angry but also feel like I can't do anything about it?
Why do I feel like this is related to something Keta just did?
I would have thought he did more angry at the fact that she told Lee something that she probably shouldn't have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very private.
Yeah.
But luckily, something Lee knows
What?
nothing about.
She's not. It's like, okay, he's not that bright.
He's not a smart man.
Lucky. So if she's lucky, he won't remember.
I mean, he'll remember, he just won't say it to anyone. Anyways, we should do our end of the game stuff and then do characters discussion afterwards, like we usually do.
Yes. Okay, and Andy is content. Andy just gave me links, and they've been posted in the Twitch chat.
And you usually just find it 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, on both Sunday and Monday. All right, Jem, do you have anything?
Since it is my game, I'll go ahead and chill it.
Alrighty.
On Tuesday, over on Night Hunter's channel, which I unfortunately do not have a link for. But on Tuesday, over on
Twitch.tv.
/ Night Hunter 66.
Yeah. Thank you. I stumbled on my words.
Not an overly hard thing to find. He's a rather popular fellow. Got a great voice,
Yeah.
though he doesn't believe it. Everyone should
Very
shout it
fun
from the
man.
rooftop. It's a very fun man. We will be going and exploring the strangeness of the cradle and seeing just what our intrepid reclaimers might find within. Basically, they beat the boss, and now they get to explore the fullness of the actual place where they initially had to go through to find the boss. We're taking them off the railroad and letting them explore. Let's see how it goes.
Training wheels are off.
Training wheels are off. They're not level 3 yet, so I'm not gonna try to kill them.
Yeah, we got to practice a little bit without the training wheels first.
Yes. Just like you guys are doing now. Soon the training wheels will be gone completely. As will the safety of the knee pads and shin pads.
Only a helmet.
Even then, that's gone.
I dare the
Anyways.
Kraken took everything.
It took my helmet! Anyways, that is my shilling. Over on 966 channel, game, robots, have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. 9 p.m. EST.
Yep.
And the other two players for that are Jack Dittman, and I think out of game name completely is just CJ for the other player.
Yep, just CJ.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I had that correct.
Just CJ. It's a weird first name, but you know.
Eh. Okay. Failsy, do you have anything?
Nothing on my end at the moment. So possibly next week I'll have set up a Patreon and for art and such.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, your Patreon is very good.
Myth, do you have anything? Or Failsy, were you done or?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
No.
Not even your second run through of the riffs.
Yeah.
You just don't want to announce anything about that.
I think he seems like he's having a lazy night.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I need to go food and go bed.
Yes.
Food go bad.
Get food, go bed.
Oh. No, I'm gonna go food. I'm gonna get bed. Fuck off. Anyways.
Either way.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is just me. We will be back here on this channel. Hopefully it's 7 next week. It was a little fucky this week because there was delay on account of a bus and a player needing to eat. So
And the baby.
yes, and a baby.
They got
Now I gotta fuck out.
But yeah, we will be back on this channel at hopefully 7 p.m. EST next week on Thursday once again to just continue to see what will happen with our adventures. So with that, I think everybody should say goodbye and we'll just end for the night.
Hello. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Ah.